start of it beginning at 5 o'clock right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Well, we've done it. They said it couldn't be done. They said it wasn't possible. But right now, you have Mike Lefko and Curtis Rogers sitting in here. We have taken the best segment on a Mariners weeknight off night at 7:15, and we have put it into drive time. Curtis, look at this. Look at us.
We've got a lot of weekday off days coming up.
Uh-oh, does that mean
I cannot guarantee I will be in for any of them, though, at least on this show. But, yeah, good to be with you.
We just bamboozle our way into this, though. We'll do it one time only. Special off-season edition of Extra Innings.
Extended edition.
7:15 award-winning, whatever our title finally worked its way to. But, yeah, Curtis, hey, look at us. Thanks.
Who would have thought this happened?
Yeah, Curtis is here for a little bit.
Yeah.
We have some other people coming along as well.
It's
Anthony
a cavalcade of stars today.
Way to put it there. It's, you know what, we are? Wyman and Bob today is the Dodgers bullpen from last night. We do have like 9 different people, I think, coming on the show today. Maybe Will Klein to come out of the bullpen and have a heroic turn for a random 4 innings.
Man, when you thought of maybe former Mariners that were going to have an impact on this postseason, Teoscar Hernandez with the Dodgers, Ty France with the Blue Jays, saw him play last night. Will Klein did not enter the conversation. I got to be honest. And when he appeared on the mound last night, in the back of my head, I was like, that name sounds really familiar. Where have I seen that name? And then I go on his baseball reference page. His headshot is him in a Mariners uniform, even though he never appeared in an actual game for the Mariners. I think he was a late spring training trade, I want to say. ERA of 7 in Tacoma at one point this season. And then all of a sudden, he's pitching the biggest innings of his life, the biggest innings of the Dodgers season. Never had pitched, 4 innings before in any outing in his professional career. He goes 4 shutout last night. Couldn't do it in front of his own parents. They're on their way to tonight's game.
He's certainly going to pitch again when he goes another 16 to 17 innings.
I got to be honest, I think that was the last we've seen of Will Klein, depending on how things go here in this series. But, yeah, Mike, last night was one of the most memorable World Series watches I can remember.
Well, Curtis, if you, the supreme ball knower, couldn't even place him as a Mariner, I mean, us mortals had no chance. I can't say it dawned on me that he was with the Mariners this past season until it started to get brought up. And then, you see things online like, the Tacoma Rainiers connection playing in the World Series right now on the biggest stage. So that was wild. My important question to you, though.
Yes.
You are a dad.
Yes.
You have young children.
I am.
So the immediate thought that came to mind, did you make it the whole way, or were those eyes getting heavy?
Did I make it the whole way? Did I make it the whole way?
No,
I didn't. 15th inning is when my wife and I, Brenna, kind of checked out. She had already fallen asleep on the couch, and I was up. I was like, if they don't score here in the 15th, we're calling it a night. We're going to bed. And then, sure enough, the Dodgers didn't score. It's on to the 16th inning. Our girls got up multiple times in the night last night, so I was able to check my phone shortly after Freddie Freeman had hit the home run, and so saw the highlight on my phone. Was a little bummed that I missed out on watching that live, but also I was like, you know what? I got to get up in a few hours. Like, my day starts 6 a.m. every day, so I kind of needed that extra bit of sleep. But yeah, it was phenomenal. Even in the innings that I got to see, I was gripped. And I mean, look, we all lived through that in Game 5 of the ALCS. Maybe not to the point of 18 innings, but I know exactly how those two fan bases were feeling last night, watching both offenses go completely silent for 4 hours. Like, there wasn't a run scored from the 7th inning till the 18th inning. It was like some people were like, "Oh, this is awful baseball." It's like, no, man, every pitch there was high drama on because one swing could end it.
Okay, I did want to get your thoughts on that
Okay.
because I was split between this is historic and this is captivating during the first 9 innings. And then at some point, it kind of turned like it did in the
Yeah.
Mariners' 18-inning loss to the Astros, where you just had nothing. Everyone going up there, trying to end the game on one big swing, usually whiffing or usually popping
Yeah.
up. The Blue Jays, I had to look this up to make sure because it felt like it, but I wanted to verify it. The Blue Jays didn't have a ball leave the infield after the 10th.
Wow.
I mean, come on. That's just
That's
bad.
brutal
That's
swinging.
bad. It got to a
Yeah.
point where I just wanted anyone to win, and I have been rooting for the Dodgers because I can't understand people who root for the Blue Jays. But at that point, I was just like, end the game somehow. And we're on the West Coast. I had
Right.
friends who were angrily texting me wanting to go to bed, but you can't because it's such a
No.
historic outing. I mean, maybe you could because you had to. Your eyes
Yeah,
betrayed
getting
you.
a little
It's
droopy.
okay.
Yeah.
Dad life
I'm
takes that out of
washed,
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I know.
admit it.
I know. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's a moment like that that's historic. So yes, I was torn on that. 866-979-3776. Did you have fun viewing experience? Did you have a memorable viewing experience? Did you watch the World Series at all? I know some people just aren't. I understand
I will
that.
say to that question, last night was the first time in this World Series that I found myself getting into it.
Okay.
Because of the lingering feelings of how Game 7 ended. I had kind of told myself, and I told people here at the station, they're like, oh, you're going to watch the World Series? Like, I don't know. The wounds were still too fresh after Game 7 to dive headfirst into the World Series. But last night, I found myself making a conscious decision watching the World Series over Monday Night Football, which there was actual Seattle implications on Monday Night Football because that's who the Seahawks play next. The Commanders, a team that just got bludgeoned last night by the Chiefs. But I found myself drawing towards the World Series over Monday Night Football, and I was like, this is what I want to watch tonight. And found it to be highly entertaining in the first, 7 innings or so. Shohei Ohtani, when Sir Anthony Dominguez chose to pitch to him, I felt it, you felt it, everybody watching felt it. Like, Ohtani's going yard here. This is going to happen.
Especially after what he did against
Exactly.
Chino.
I thought it was funny, too. The two biggest swings of the game last night, Ohtani's home run to tie it in the 7th and Freeman's home run to win it in the 18th inning, both served up by the guys who served up Cal Raleigh and Gino Suarez's home runs in the 8th inning of Game 5. Brendan Little gave up Cal Raleigh's. Dominguez giving up the grand slam to Gino Suarez. If you're the Blue Jays right now, like, and you've already had a bullpen where you're kind of like, I don't know, like if you have to go to Little and Dominguez right now, like you are shaking in your boots because those guys, this is not the first time they've melted down.
No,
this
I
postseason.
have a friend who works for the Orioles, and I texted him after that, and I said, thank you again for Orioles' finest relievers, Sir Anthony Dominguez. Because, that pitch to Suarez and then the one last night was just right down the middle.
Yeah.
But what a game. It's a memorable game. It's a situation that you'll never forget either because, maybe you did fall asleep or maybe you did stay up and watch the entire thing. And when it's at that stage, a World Series 18 innings, it has some heft. It has some weight to it. If this is mid-April, impressive that it goes to 18 because the ghost runner. But, you don't really remember an 18-inning game in the middle of the season.
No.
This was thoroughly impressive. I did want to share the story of one of our friends who texted us saying, I was on the couch, and then all of a sudden I woke up, phone in hand at 1 a.m. and missed the ending. And I felt so bad because that's happened to me before. I'm sure it's happened to people out there where you're trying to stay awake, but it's very late. You're in just too comfortable of a position, and all of a sudden, in the midst of the head nod, you've missed like 10 minutes.
For
That was an
sure.
important 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you saw game action, and all of a sudden you wake up, and it's an interview happening.
It's just, you can't get that back.
Get that back.
But you know what? You got some shut-eye.
You
and sleep is the most important thing these days.
Curtis is in here for a little bit. Curtis Rogers, Mike Lefko with you. We're going to have Anthony Bradford joining us at 2:30, Ryan Divish at 3, and then some evolving things here. Dodgers bullpen-like kind of game. What do they have? 9 pitchers used last night. So we'll keep going until 5 o'clock. Game 4 of the World Series gets started with coverage here on Seattle Sports. But Curtis, as we kind of look at this Mariners offseason, it's getting close to that time where free agency begins. Now, when you're your own team, you can negotiate with your own free agents until that open free agency period.
Right.
So, theoretically, the Mariners could sign a deal with Josh Naylor today. That's theoretical. That would be great.
Right.
But they do have these guys. And so when you look at the course of the offseason for the Mariners, kind of an interesting discussion we've had, and I know you guys have talked about this as well, setting aside just Josh Naylor. That's the end-all, be-all, yes, priority number 1. But the totality of Naylor, Suarez, and assuming Polanco turns down the player option, which why not? So at this point, we're just going to lump them in the free agency category. Out of those three, do you feel like it's important to bring all three back?
I think it is vital that they bring at least one back.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important that they bring two back, but I don't think it's necessary that they bring all three back.
What would be your kind of pecking order?
Pecking order would be Naylor 1, Polanco 2, Gino 3.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that like I hate Gino Suarez or anything like that. In fact, I love Gino Suarez, and I think the biggest boost given to this Mariners team this season was the belief given to the clubhouse from the front office, like we are making a concerted effort and going after this. We're getting Gino Suarez. We know what he means to this clubhouse. We've seen it with our own two eyes for years here prior to the 2025 season. Like we know how this can springboard us to bigger and better things. But you look at how Gino profiles here in Seattle, and the last couple months of the season, definitely it was kind of like, okay, like is he ever going to get his bat going the way it was in Arizona? And we never really did get to see that. Now, did have some great moments, and obviously point to Game 5, the 2 home runs, including the grand slam that he hit, nearly propelling the Mariners to a World Series for the first time. Like, that was incredible, but those moments were pretty fleeting, whereas Naylor was consistent production from the get-go, and Polanco had one of the best seasons we've seen from a Mariners second baseman in a long time, Mariners DH in a long time, really both spots, especially the DH, which has been pretty brutal ever since like Nelson Cruz left. So that's why I'd put Naylor 1, Polanco 2, Gino 3. And I think the Mariners front office, in getting this close to the World Series, I think has a better, I think feeling that heartbreak and seeing them get that close, that has got to make you feel a certain way that you've probably never felt before as a front office, where it's like, oh man, we really were that close. We could see a World Series berth happening if you just simply manage the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning a little bit differently than what we saw. And it makes, I think, the urgency for moves made this offseason a little bit more than it's ever been under Dipoto and Hollander and company.
So what would your plan be at third base? Because I guess I feel strong. I feel more strongly than it seems like a lot of other people do about the necessity to bring Gino Suarez back.
Yeah.
Whether that's just a one-year deal, because I don't think you're ready to just simply turn it over to Ben Williamson. You might need that runway, that kind of handoff. I
agree.
Where Ben Williamson's the future, Cole Young's the future, Colt Emerson is the future. But everything you just said, it's kind of reaffirming to me, like, you can't take a step back.
No.
So my fear is, hey, if Ben Williamson's your future, but you give him starting third baseman spot for 2026, and it doesn't work, he gets off to a slow start, what happens there? That would be my only reason for worry if you don't bring back Gino Suarez.
Yes, I think Ben Williamson's bat is still maybe a year or two away from being a factor at the big league level. I was encouraged by the progress he made in the power department his final month in Tacoma. Saw some really good swings out of him. He worked a lot with Sean O'Malley down there in Tacoma. He had one game where he hit, I think, a 430-foot home run and a 427-foot home run in the same game. It was his first ever multi-home run game as a pro, which it was really encouraging to see that. But that's also in the Pacific Coast League, where it's video game numbers every single night. Whereas, like, for the 26 Mariners team at third base, I would love to see somebody brought in with a little bit more pop.
So, an external free agent.
Maybe, or maybe you make a trade
Kinda
for somebody.
short-term. Yeah, interesting.
I know Adam Jude floated the possibility yesterday on Bump and Stacy of Colt Emerson being your opening day third baseman, which is it's a possibility I don't think I had yet considered. I don't know if many people had yet considered, because we all kind of view him as the shortstop of the future of this team. And also with JP entering the final season of his contract, maybe there's like a changing of the guard there. Maybe you move JP over to second base, have Colt Emerson be your shortstop. Who knows how that situation is going to play out. But I think if you can find a third baseman, and hey, maybe Gino does, give you a hometown discount or something. Like, I'm not opposed to bringing back Gino Suarez.
This is where, hey, maybe his bad season with the Mariners helps bring it back. I mean, who's going to – hey, if you just saw Gino when he got to the Mariners, the numbers weren't great. He's 34. Does someone else want to sign him? Maybe the Mariners can get him.
Bring him back on a 1 or a 2 year deal. I bet Gino would love to be able to put down roots somewhere. He's beloved wherever he goes. He talked about not wanting to leave Arizona. There was, there were the trade rumors involving him and the Tigers, where he was like, "Oh, I'd love to end my career where I started it in Detroit." And then obviously the love affair he's got here in Seattle with the fans and the fan base reciprocating that his way. So I'm not opposed to bringing back Gino Suarez at all. But if we're looking at the list of priorities, I still think Josh Naylor's one because, I mean, for whatever reason, his personality, while may not fit in every clubhouse, it was a perfect fit in Seattle's clubhouse. Gave them an edge.
I loved it.
Gave them an attitude that I had never seen the Mariners play with in my time watching this team.
I loved that. I think it was when Dave and Bob interviewed him. They asked him about, "Hey, you don't seem to talk much, the guys at first." He's like, "No, I'm trying to focus on the game. Like, I'm here to play. I'm here to win." He's just focused on winning. So yeah, that priority number one. It just feels like, and whether that you lump Polanco in with Suarez as well, you just need a bridge. That could be half a season. That could be 3/4 of a season. That could be an entire year. You need a bridge before these guys are ready. I know it was something that Justin Hollander addressed the end of season meeting, talking about Cole Young and Ben Williamson. They got the experience, but Cole Young was a non-factor at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Ben Williamson wasn't even on the roster, and then, got up there at the playoffs, but he didn't play. So to turn it over to those guys after a season like that feels a little bit risky. It was something that Jeff Passan kind of broke down with Brock and Salk this morning, that right now, coming off this season, this is as win now as it gets for the Mariners.
Your demand, your mandate is to try as best you can to win right now while integrating in guys slowly, but no Band-Aid rips unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Like 2026 needs to be your focus right now. It needs to be the main focus. It needs to be the target of everything.
Yeah, feels like it, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if, by not bringing back Suarez, you're saying, well, no, we're not focused on 2026. That's just my kind of straight line view of thinking that if the Mariners are wholly confident in what Ben Williamson can bring, maybe he is, and there's another option there. But we know how the original third base plan didn't work out last offseason. So it's just like, hey, what's the harm in having Ben Williamson and Cole Young and Ryan Bliss as your bench to start the season instead of last year, where I don't even remember who was on the bench. Donovan Solano was part of your
Donnie
bench
Barrels.
grouping. Yeah, Donnie Barrels.
The Donnie Barrels.
What a nickname. He had a couple game stretch.
He did. He had a multi-homer game, I think, in Chicago.
But if you upgrade the bench, that does not seem like a downside for anyone.
Right. And I think we also learned in that Toronto series just how important your bench guys and also your 7, 8, 9 guys are going to be heading into this upcoming season, because you want to make sure your lineup is not simply your two biggest threats in Cal and Julio plus Polanco plus Naylor plus Rosarena. Like, you've got to make sure your lineup is as well-rounded as possible in all of this. And I see a lot of people on the text line talking about how, Ben Williamson's so amazing and whatnot. And it's like, defensively, yes, I will agree with you. He was the best defensive player the Mariners had last year. But if you're looking at somebody who you want to have the bat in their hands in a big spot in the postseason, like, it's Gino Suarez over Ben Williamson a million times.
Yeah, isn't it funny, the backup quarterback syndrome, that everyone wants the guy that isn't playing because he seems like the better option?
Yeah.
So that's just, everyone wanted Gino, and now everyone's sick of Gino. There can be some middle ground. You can have both as you build forward to this best team, but it's funny how that always seems to play out here.
I know.
Yeah. We get that too, right? Now people are already sick of us. So, hey,
Right.
Curtis is only here for a few more minutes. Can't get sick of him. Curtis Rogers, Mike Lefko here with you. We're taking extra innings to 2 o'clock for a little bit. But we also want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks game on November 9th against the Cardinals. All you need to do, open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text app to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chance to win. This contest runs through Monday, November 3rd. Right now, let's take 2. Well, Curtis, it was funny you might mention that Monday Night Football game, because I did also kind of forget. I came home, and by the time we get home, the World Series has started. So the runs had already scored. By the time I got settled, I'm like, oh, I got to turn this on. It's a big game. And then I was like, oh, Oh, yeah. I got to kind of pay attention to that Monday night game because the Commanders are playing the Seahawks. It was very much relegated to iPad status. No audio, iPad status, and it was not a great game. But in watching that, you saw the Commanders struggle without Jaden Daniels. Today, their head coach, Dan Quinn, said they expect him back. He sat out last night's game with a hamstring injury. They're also dealing with Terry McLaurin, who re-aggravated his quad. Makes for an interesting situation. Brian Walters and I talked about this yesterday. The Seahawks get the benefit of a scheduling break. They're coming off a bye, and their opponent, a short week and banged up.
Well, and you look at what the Commanders could potentially be facing after this game if they do lose. You're 3-6. Who do you have the following week after Seattle? The Detroit Lions. Potentially 3-7. This is a desperate spot right now for the Commanders. So I am not shocked at all that Jaden Daniels is back practicing because they need him to be available on Sunday if they want to have a shot against the Seahawks. Now the Seahawks, you want to be able to keep pace with the Rams in your division. You want to put some distance between yourself and the 49ers, who have the tiebreak over you right now. But you're going up against a pretty desperate Commanders team. Also, November 30th. So that would be 3 games following the Seattle game. They played Denver, who's had a really good season. Commanders finish up the season 2 of their final 3 games against the Eagles. Their schedule ramps up in difficulty after this week against the Seahawks. So they're going to be playing with a lot of desperation on Sunday, I think, to avoid this thing snowballing on them. And the Seahawks, obviously, you don't want to be in the way of that. But I think the Seahawks, even with the desperation that Washington is playing with, I think the Seahawks have the edge in just about every category going to this one.
Well, Game 3 barely ended. It almost made it to midnight here on the West Coast. It's almost 3 a.m. on the East Coast.
You could hear the sleepiness in Jeff Passan's voice when he was on with Brock and Salk.
I kind of did notice a little mellower.
I can't imagine he got back to his hotel before like 2 a.m. last night.
I would have strongly assumed he was going to skip this interview. So kudos to Jeff Passan.
Yeah,
very impressive. Would have been an easy one to skip out, and he is a gamer. What did Shohei say? He just wanted to get to sleep when he was doing his interview and the Fox post game show. But yeah, Game 4 tonight. You can hear it here starting at 5 o'clock on Seattle Sports. Now, out of all the absurd stats that came out of it, I think the one I loved the most, I don't know why, it just was so oddly fascinating that towards the end of the game, Tom Verducci pops on and is like, yeah, so they usually mark up 290 baseballs for a game, scuff them up, get them game ready. Yeah. And he said, yeah, we've used about 200 and some. Apparently, unofficially, there were 220 baseballs used in total of that game last night, and only 290 are prepared for a game. So they got to work preparing more, I imagine, but 290.
So close to a little more than 2/3 of the balls were used last night over 18 innings. So just doing the math here, 27-inning game, that would have depleted you of your entire ball supply. So I don't think you're going to have that issue tonight, but I think it can't go to extra innings tonight. Oh my gosh. If it goes to extras again tonight, you will definitely see position players pitching.
For the sake of train wreck viewing, don't you kind of hope?
A little bit, yeah.
We don't have a rooting interest. It's not stressful for us, and there was the big difference, right? We all sat through this.
Yeah.
A 15-inning game with so much on the line. Absolutely miserable, stressful experience. Hey, you're sitting at home last night, you fall asleep. Not stressful at all.
Another ridiculous stat about this World Series is that if the Dodgers win the World Series, this will be the 6th straight World Series champion with a Will Smith on their roster.
Wow. That's what we bring Curtis.
Yeah.
Stats like that.
2020, Dodgers had Will Smith. The Braves, Astros, and Nationals all had Will Smith on their roster.
And now
and then Will Smith again. Will Smith, the reliever.
Mind blown here.
Yeah.
Wow. Will Smiths. What a run for the Will Smiths. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Coming up, well, his background gives him a unique perspective in what makes Sam Darnold a good quarterback. Anthony Bradford's going to join us next to break it all down. Mike Lefko with you here on Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passan with Brock and Salk.
If you are in the Mariners front office, what are you spending your offseason focusing on?
This feels like a beginning, not an end. I see this being the beginning of the best run in the history of this franchise. The sheer number of really good prospects that the Mariners have lead me to believe that they're going to be in this position again.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
After years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy. Well, and my buddy and co-host Bob Stelton, also in pain, and decided to go see Dr. Wagner.
I had a hip issue from 14 years of jiu-jitsu.
How's the pain now?
Everything I did before, I can do just as well. Hitting the heavy bag, sparring, rolling, all of that is back in play. This whole thing has been such a pleasant surprise because I really was of the mindset, I'm going to have to go under the knife. I'm going to have to get surgery. And this really saved me from that. I could not be happier with the results.
Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine.
Do it. You will not regret it.
Hey, get the facts, hear from all the patients I've talked to, and schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Hey, it's Reese Davis. Let's be honest, you can't keep an eye on everything unless you've got Blink Outdoor 4 cameras. While you're focused on the game, Blink's keeping an eye on your home.
With up to 2-year battery life and with Sync Module XR, you can cover more space without constant maintenance. No wires, no worries. Blink helps keep an eye on what matters most. Get Blink today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Old windows cost you money and security. Lake Washington Windows and Doors installs energy-efficient, high-security windows that lower your bills and increase protection. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Choose LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowes.com/pro-loyalty for details. Subject to change.
Ryan Roland Smith here. For more than 35 years, the NBA Health Insurance Trust has been helping local builders, contractors, and their employees save money and gain peace of mind. They offer customized group health plans from the state's leading insurance providers. Small and mid-sized businesses deserve big healthcare access. The NBA Health Trust brings you the coverage you want at a price you can trust. Find out more at MBAHealthTrust.com. That's MBAHealthTrust.com.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
At Bible Law Group, we know how important voting is. That's why we're partnering with Seattle's own rock star Aaron Jones to rock the vote Thursday, October 30th at the Queen Anne Beer Hall. Vote and enjoy delicious smash burgers with Aaron and local bands by getting your ticket at bit.ly/BibleRock. If you've misplaced your ballot, don't panic. In Washington, you can still print a provisional ballot online and drop it in any official ballot box by November 4th. When prayer just ain't cutting it for your legal needs, we suggest two things: vote and call Bible Law Group.
John here with Happy Hauler. We want to help get your unwanted items to those in need. Furniture and household items you plan on throwing away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill, and giving useful items a second happy home. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We work with over 20 nonprofits all over Western Washington to donate used items. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, the Seahawks are back, getting back to action after the bye. We're back as well. The Seahawks Player Spotlight brought to you by Three Tree Roofing. Pleased to be joined by Seahawks guard Anthony Bradford. Anthony, first of all, how was the bye for you? What did you do? Was it low-key? Did you take some time to decompress? How was the off weekend for you?
Yeah, it was very needed. You know what I'm saying? I just took some time to chill, relax. You know what I'm saying? Feel like a real person for a few days, and now we back to it.
What does that mean to feel like a real person? Do you get away from football? Do you watch it at all? Do you get to take care of chores, things you put off, or what did you do exactly?
Yeah, for sure. Just take care of the house, relax, and just, you know, we still definitely going to still watch football. You know, that's mandatory. But, yeah, just relaxing, getting off your feet, just, you know, just doing what you don't get to do every other day.
Hey, Anthony, something I'm curious about, we ask players this a lot. Are you able to just sit and watch games and enjoy it? Are you kind of analyzing? Like, do you find yourself watching and kind of grading other linemen or watching how other defenses attack guys? How do you watch a game when you're not watching?
We never just watching it. We definitely like, oh, that was a good move, or oh, he's strapping him up. You know what I'm saying? We definitely analyzing it throughout the game.
Okay, so anything from this past weekend that stood out? Either good O-line play or pretty impressive defensive line performances?
Really was the game that I was really surprised at was the Texans versus the 49ers, to be honest. That was a pretty crazy game. Good seeing the boys go out there and compete, especially at home. It was crazy. My agent was out there and stuff, so we was just watching the game together.
Oh, that's awesome. So when you see that in a team that you guys had just played as well, do you think back and think, oh, yeah, you know what, I saw that happen, or I feel better about how our offense did after you see a team like the Texans go out and beat the Niners?
I mean, yeah, for sure. We definitely had some takeaways from the game, our game against the Texans and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely taking some little pointers from here and there. Like, okay, we didn't do that bad, or we could have did this better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, Anthony, tell me about your offensive line coach, because we've talked a lot about Clint Kubiak and the offense and him as an offensive coordinator. But what about John Benton? What have you learned from him as your O-line coach?
Just to be resilient, man. Like, just be resilient and do your job to the best of your ability. You know, Coach JB gets us ready for every game each week, and we, as O-linemen, we feel like we have a good enough plan and do everything we need to do in practice to go out there and perform on Sundays. So I feel like JB is just good at getting us prepared, getting us, you know, confident to go out there and just play our game.
What's his style like? I mean, he's been coaching for a long time. How does that translate to you guys?
Yeah, very, I say like 50-50, like laid back but aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like not all in your face, but then again, it's like he's respected, you know? So whatever he says, it goes. However you want something done, that's how it's supposed to be done. You know what I'm saying? So, yep.
Yeah. So what about this offense overall? Because you guys have had some turnover. You know, you've had a number of different offensive coordinators. Now a new one here for you, Clint Kubiak, year one, working with all you guys. What's it been like in this offense, not just for the O-line, but you think for everyone working together?
Yeah, I just feel like it's good for everybody because it showcases a lot of what we have. You know what I'm saying? Run game. Definitely pass game, just showcasing everybody, tight ends getting some love, wide receivers doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? It just works for everybody.
Yeah, do you feel that on drives when things are going well and the momentum's building? You kind of see how one play runs off of another. What's that feeling like for you guys when things are just kind of clicking out there?
Yeah, we just know when we rolling. Like, once we, you know what I'm saying, once we get it rolling, like, it's hard to get us stop rolling, you know what I'm saying? That's just come from us just being together during this off season and stuff like that, putting the work in, and just know when we rolling, we rolling.
What's the offensive line room like? What are you guys like? A lot of personalities, I imagine, in that room?
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of personalities, but they gel together pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel like we have a good room. Good rooms than I've been in, one of the better rooms, you know what I'm saying? And just, everybody just cool together. We get together outside of football building. So it's a pretty cool room. I really wouldn't want to be a part of any other room, to be honest.
Seahawks guard Anthony Bradford with us here on Wyman and Bob. Yeah, Anthony, I imagine an offensive line more, or maybe equally as much as a lot of other positions groups, you guys all have to work together. You have to kind of be on the same page. So how has that off-field bonding kind of helped you guys get on the same page?
Just as simple as bonding, to be honest. Like, because if you bonding outside of the building, like when you inside of the building and the fire's going and you outside, I mean, you on game day and the bullets are flying and stuff, it's just like you have that trust in the person that you were with literally almost every other day that he's going to do his job. He knows what he's doing and stuff like that. So I feel like it helps us a lot.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of returning pieces, a lot of experience on that O-line, but Gray Zabel is the one new guy. What have you noticed about him and his acclimation here to the NFL?
Yeah, my boy clicked in as soon as he stepped in, to be honest. He's just an amazing kid, you know what I'm saying? He comes here to work every day. And does what he do. Keeps his head down. Pretty funny dude, to be honest. Like I said, personalities in the room, and I love the kid. So.
Okay, so moving back to your quarterback, also year one for him here with this Seahawks group. How have you gotten to know Sam Darnold, and what's it been like working with him?
Yeah, he's a worker. Sam is an amazing person. Outside of football, just an amazing person to be around. Cool dude. And then in the building, he's a vet. He's a general. He makes sure everybody, like offensive wise, just everybody on the same page. Make sure that we getting good work in, being efficient. He's a leader.
Does he get fiery at all? I mean, when we've seen him and we talked to him, obviously it's post-practice and controlled media settings or after a game, and he's very polished. He's a professional like all you guys are, but how does he kind of motivate you guys when you deal with some adversity?
Yeah, so when it's time to go, it's time to go. And everybody know that. It's just like Sam is a quarterback, so it's like you see Sam get chippy, it's time to get going, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, we all respect Sam, so we know it's coming from a good place.
Okay, Anthony, take me back to college, because at LSU, I know you overlap kind of briefly at the start with Joe Burrow and then at the very end of your career there with Jaden Daniels. Did you have enough of an observation process to kind of see, these guys are going to be good? Or was there something that stood out that makes a great quarterback that you noticed there in college?
Yeah, just really a quarterback being just like a coach, you know what I'm saying? Just spending a lot of times like him and I know a quarterback will be good if him and the offensive coordinator like best buds, you know what I'm saying? That's what I seen early on with Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Garrett Nussmeier, and stuff like that, and even Sam. They just close with the offensive coordinator, trying to get the offense down, make sure they know every in and out, you know what I'm saying? So that's my observation once I know, like, oh, yeah, he's serious.
Yeah, so in your final year there, I know you guys had a few starting quarterbacks. Jaden played a couple games. Did you get to know him at all? And are you going to take any of that knowledge into this matchup this week if he does play against you guys?
Oh, yeah, Jaden's my boy for sure. When he came in, we made him feel pretty comfortable, made him fit in, you know what I'm saying? He fit right in. He's a cool guy. I call him a lifelong friend, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's a good kid for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup coming up on Sunday night. One final question here about LSU, because obviously some big news happened over the weekend. I'm sure all you guys were keeping up with it. How do you feel about the situation? Yeah, I don't know if you want to weigh in on Brian Kelly personally, but what do you think about the situation? And is there someone you hope would be the next head coach at LSU?
Go get Coach Ed Orgeron, man. Bring him back to that bayou, man. Yeah, it was crazy seeing the news from this weekend. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for the dudes that's at LSU, because guys really like the Brian Kelly and stuff, but it's a business side to it as well. So nobody can control that from lower down, but. Shoot, I feel like everybody like to see Coach O back at LSU, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. It'll be a fascinating coaching hire playing out there. Well, Anthony, great to hear from you. Seahawks are back in action. Big game against the Commanders coming up this week. Thanks for taking the time with us.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Anthony Bradford. The Seahawks Player Spotlight is presented by Three Tree Roofing. I did honestly want to know his personal feelings on Brian Kelly because I have some personal thoughts, but I loved his answer. Go Tigers. It would be fun if Ed Orgeron goes back there. Kind of doubt they would, but thanks to Anthony Bradford, some fascinating insight about what it takes to make a good quarterback, how they're wired. He did play with some of the best. I mean, Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels in college, and then Sam Darnold right now with the Seahawks. Well, we're going to dive into something a little bit more around Sam Darnold and the NFL, including one team that has a lot of remorse right now. I think they're regretting a decision they didn't make. Some key storylines playing out around the NFL. We'll get into that coming up next here on Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Get inside the huddle.
The handoff inside. He's He's going to go. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Taking you inside the VMAC every week. Thursdays, noon to 2.
Our guys show up to play.
Player interviews.
It's obviously been paying off. Just going to continue to do that.
Previewing this week's matchup.
We'll say they come out and just run the ball down the Niners' throats.
And everything Seahawks.
If anybody had a doubt, don't.
The Huddle. Every Thursday at noon. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Seattle's rainy season is here. Don't wait to replace your roof. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and get $500 off your roofing project. Our expert team creates a custom plan for your home, ensuring a smooth, worry-free installation even in the winter months. With material prices low and lead time short, now is the best time to act. Stop throwing money at costly repairs. Protect your home this winter with a new roof from your neighbors at 3Tree Roofing. Visit 3treeroofing.com today to secure your $500 discount. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here with Luke Wilson, a local owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Thanks, Rick. Just like October baseball, Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington is stepping up to the plate. Mention Go Seattle when you schedule and you'll score 15% off plus 12 months with no payments and no interest. This is your chance to swing big. This offer won't be around for extra innings.
Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
I had a young woman who was on a new SUV, and she had attachments to her old car because it was her first car, and she had questions because she was doubling her spending budget, and she was very fiscally responsible. It was almost making her sick. And the best path at that point was to let's stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier. These are major life accomplishments. You have the ability to afford at this tier. You've secured one of the major needs in your life. You should be feeling a tremendous amount of pride and respect for your accomplishments. I'm just grateful that we get to celebrate it with them, that we get to be part of it in that aspect of it.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Touchdown, Seahawks! Ken Walker III.
Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
No, it's not too soon to start holiday shopping. Ulta Beauty's early Black Friday event is happening now through November 22nd. Shop $10 beauty minis from brands like MAC and Too Faced. Take 30% off Lancome and Touchland fragrances and body mists. With new offers dropping every week, our associates can help you find the perfect gifts. Head into Ulta Beauty today to shop our early Black Friday event. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We'll get back to the baseball talk coming up at 3 o'clock. Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times joins me. I assume in Montana. Curious, though, where he actually is. Comes out of the wilderness to join us. We always appreciate it. Before we get back to baseball, it's just fascinating to think back, and we do this usually on Wednesdays, but maybe it's a little bit of a what-if Wednesday early today, to how the offseason could have been different for not just the Seahawks, but the Vikings as well. And one decision or non-decision had this trickle-down effect that has cascaded to everything and led the Seahawks to where they are now. And that's the Vikings deciding not to sign Sam Darnold, a guy who they had seen what they were getting. He had 14 incredible weeks. He had a suspect few at the end there. But you had this quarterback who was stable and solid. You don't re-sign him. And then, as you'll hear here from a couple of NFL experts and Andrew Whitworth and Ryan Fitzpatrick, they also didn't re-sign Daniel Jones, who was on their team at the end of the year. And look what Daniel Jones is doing. He's leading the best team in the NFL, the Colts, who have just one loss. So the Vikings decided to just say, look, we have this first-round pick in J.J. McCarthy. Despite him missing the entire season, we're going with J.J. McCarthy. We're not going to offer a contract to Sam Darnold. And because of that, he's available. And does that sway the Seahawks' decision at all if Darnold isn't available? Maybe do they try a little bit harder with Geno Smith? I don't know. I doubt it. There wouldn't have been a viable option, though. There certainly wouldn't have been an option that allowed them to be competitive right now. And not just competitive, but one of the best teams in the NFL. The Seahawks are 5-2, atop the NFC West. They are one of the best teams in the NFL because the Vikings decided not to re-sign Sam Darnold. And Andrew Whitworth and Ryan Fitzpatrick, who do a podcast, Fitz and Wit podcast, they were breaking it down this week, just really going back to that decision and wondering how much regret the Vikings have right now.
The biggest thing is what's the consistency around the quarterback. And if we have that, like we know this is our play caller, we know this is our head coach, we know this is our system, man, let's get him on the field and let's grow. Like that's always my philosophy. But at the same time, when you're sitting there going, we did draft this guy, we are living in a world where is the draft compensation and the leverage now what it used to be 10, 15 years ago where you just had to play a guy because you drafted him? Not really. So, like, could we afford to keep a Sam Darnold in our building or at worst a Daniel Jones or somebody that we kind of believe that could be a backup at that time? I think that's going to be the decision, unfortunately, that's going to kind of haunt them, because I think it's crazy, Fitz. Every week I watch Sam Darnold play, and they throw the freaking next-gen stats up there, and you look at 10-plus yard throws down the field. It's like every week, regardless of winning or losing, this dude is at the top of everybody. I mean, his ability to push the football down the field, be accurate, it just fits so much into what Kevin O'Connell wants to do.
Yeah, that's a great point brought up by Andrew Whitworth as well that I hadn't originally considered. It's not cost prohibitive anymore to keep a rookie quarterback and have him sit for a second year. I get it. If it was the old, Sam Bradford days when you're paying him $50 million guaranteed, he signed that absurd contract, I think broke rookie contracts for everyone moving forward, because after that, they had the rookie wage scale. It doesn't cost you a lot. That's what everyone's trying to do, is capitalize on a win-now opportunity with a quarterback on a rookie contract. So from that line of thinking, okay, makes a little bit of sense. But from where the Vikings were, it just makes no sense. They had a similar roster to what the Seahawks had, maybe even perceived as a better roster, yet you take away a fundamental piece of that and look at that immediate addition for the Seahawks, subtraction for the Vikings, and what's happened there. You're kind of wasting a bit of a championship window, and now the Vikings are in complete disarray. So J.J. McCarthy has missed 5 straight games with an ankle injury. He is expected back. But Carson Wentz, he's out for the season. He was their backup. He looked terrible against the Chargers, but he got injured, out for the season with a shoulder injury. That's going to be a lost season for a team that is paying Justin Jefferson an absurd amount of money. You have to figure out a way to roster build. They're just not able to do that. So the Seahawks are sitting here, and I think, hey, we're all grateful for that, but wild to think about what might have happened had the Vikings just decided, look, Sam Darnold was great for us. We want to give him a contract. Where the Seahawks go and what their pivot might have been after that. But this was Ryan Fitzpatrick just kind of reiterating Andrew Whitworth's point about the Vikings making a pretty big mistake in not keeping Sam Darnold.
When you sit there and you watch Houston and Seattle on Monday night, and you watch Sam Darnold and you watch the season that he's having, and you think to yourself, it would have cost us 3 years and $100 million to retain him in Minnesota. And I know they made some moves. I know they bring in Hargrave. I know they bring in Jonathan Allen. They re-signed some other guys, Aaron Jones and some other guys. But you got to be thinking there's probably some remorse over that decision that they made this offseason.
Yeah, I kind of brought it up to Dave last week. I wonder if it was just a little bit of overconfidence on Kevin O'Connell's part. Kind of like what we've seen with the Niners, where people kind of dismiss Brock Purdy because, Kyle Shanahan, you can just plug and play every quarterback. Kevin O'Connell, with what he did with Sam Darnold and the relationship he had with Kirk Cousins and the good years that Kirk Cousins had before that, I wonder if he's just thinking, look, I'm a quarterback whisperer. And the front office maybe gave him that misguided trust as well, that you can plug and play any quarterback in here. It's going to work out. It obviously didn't. And right now, all Sam Darnold has done is arguably put up a case for MVP. Now, he's not going to be the MVP unless the Seahawks continue on this upward trajectory. If they win the division and maybe get the number 1 seed, sure, you have 10 games left. He certainly could. There are other guys, and like Josh Allen's going to get the popular sentiment again, or Patrick Mahomes has started to put it together. Those are the big brand names, if you will. But Sam Darnold is quietly putting together a Pro Bowl caliber season, and the Seahawks are having a terrific year. So I guess this is just a long-winded way of saying, thank you, Vikings. Give us your mailing address. We'll send you, a holiday present. We'll get the Christmas gifts out there. But where would the Seahawks be without Sam Darnold right now in that Vikings decision to not re-sign him? Pretty good point brought up by those two, by Andrew Whitworth and Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I think heightened by the fact that the Seahawks were in primetime. That always has a way of bringing things to the forefront. Not like the Seahawks get forgotten about, but when you're playing in the late afternoon window, all right, there are other games happening. The national perspectives getting ready for a national broadcast on Sunday Night Football, then Monday Night Football. When you're there on primetime, on Monday Night Football, easy to see all the good that Sam Darnold has done. So thank you, Vikings. We appreciate it. And the Seahawks will keep it rolling here with Sam Darnold and a 5-2 team. All right, we're going to get into some baseball talk. Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times is going to outline the Mariners' plans for this offseason. He joins me next year. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Hawks Live.
Touchdown!
Presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Live from Bellevue Square's center court. Come on by and join hosts Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer and a different Seahawks player every week.
This should be fun.
Hawks Live. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
After years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy. Well, and my buddy and co-host Bob Stelton, also in pain, and decided to go see Dr. Wagner.
I had a hip issue from 14 years of jiu-jitsu.
How's the pain now?
Everything I did before, I can do just as well. Hitting the heavy bag, sparring, rolling, all of that is back in play. This whole thing has been such a pleasant surprise because I really was of the mindset, I'm going to have to go under the knife. I'm going to have to get surgery. And this really saved me from that. I could not be happier with the results.
Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine.
Do it. You will not regret it.
Hey, get the facts, hear from all the patients I've talked to, and schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. It's Mike Salk here. You can book now for an unforgettable experience. Let's talk about Hawks Peak. It is the place to be for game days this football season. With over 66 TVs, indoor-outdoor concept, the deck is covered and it's heated as well. And the food, oh man, it was excellent. All with breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. Yep, you can go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. For my friends at People Come First or PCF Construction Group, are you tired of just grilling in the cold and rain every winter in the Northwest? Well, with a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long, staying warm and dry, even in the wintry months. And I have a special offer for you. PCF's Black Friday sale runs through November, and you can get up to 20% off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Most people don't consider building a deck in winter, but if you want yours ready by next spring and summer, then contact PCF right now to start planning. Spend the winter dreaming, designing, and improving your project so you're ready to build by the spring. Remember, planning and permits take time, so get started right now. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers.
Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Saints have benched Spencer Rattler. They've officially named rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck their starter. Second-round pick actually made his NFL debut on the final drive of the game against the Seahawks. He is a solid 0 for 2 in his NFL career. Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin re-aggravated his quad injury last night. They kept him out for 4 games. Injury update coming tomorrow before the Seahawks face them on Sunday night. And the Kraken continue their 5-game homestand tonight against Montreal. Their 5-2-2 start to the season has them just 1 point back of Vegas for first in the Pacific Division.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Mike Lefko here with you on Wyman and Bob. I think the saddest part of the Mariners season coming to an end, and certainly the on-field product, but that this guy disappears back to Montana to go become a great coach again, I assume. Ryan will ask you about your coaching career in a second, but Ryan Divish, Mariners beat writer for the Seattle Times, is with us here on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Ryan, how's it going? Are you back in Montana?
I am back in Montana right now for the time being. I don't know how long I'll be here, but I am back here right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's great, right? I got to make the pilgrimage up there. I've heard good things, so I'm glad you're back there experiencing. Well, what's it like? Is it too cold right now?
No, it's actually pretty nice out today. It's 50 some degrees out, no wind. It looks like fall. All the leaves are turning and stuff. So not a bad day. Not a bad day. I mean, probably a week from now there'll be snow on the ground, but until then, not too bad.
All right, so I have about 2 days to get there, so maybe not this winter, but sometime in the near future, Ryan. First question for you, and a big one before we get into the Mariners. Did you stay up for that entire World Series game last night?
I did.
Yeah.
I stayed up for all of it, which was, it's being out here, it's a little different too because of the time change and everything, and hour difference. But yeah, I stayed up for all of it. It was interesting. I mean, it reminded me a lot of the 15-inning game at T-Mobile Park, and really the 18-inning game a few years ago, where it just looked like everybody's just trying to hit a bomb to end it instead of just trying to piece together a couple hits. But then again, Freddie Freeman hit a bomb to end it. So
yeah, well, that's what yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say I was trying to figure out with people, was that good baseball or bad baseball? Because everyone's talking about how historic and how great this game was, but then everything you're talking about, it kind of got annoying. It felt like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was the greatest baseball. I mean, you look at it, the Blue Jays didn't even have their best players in there for the last half of the game. I mean, Alejandro Kirk, my doppelganger was pulled from the game for a pinch runner, and I don't understand. I think he's pretty fast, and then you have Addison Barger and all the different guys that normally play, Bo Bichette, they're all out of the game, and you're having lesser hitters in there, and then they're getting overwhelmed by a guy that used to pitch for the Tacoma Rainiers. So that part of it, I didn't think it was great baseball to watch. It was drama filled, and there were some outstanding defensive plays, maybe some questionable sins on some base running stuff, but I don't think it was like the prettiest baseball. Honestly, there have been games this postseason where I think even when there's runs scored or whatever, you see some remarkable hitting and things like that. I think there's been better games this postseason, but that was definitely kind of maybe the most dramatic.
Ryan, when you look back at this Blue Jays-Mariners series, we kind of transition into the offseason, looking at what the Blue Jays did in Game 1 of the World Series and what they did against the Mariners, Did it feel to you like the Blue Jays lineup was vastly deeper than the Mariners, or that the Mariners just might not have had enough guys performing on their current lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit of both. Like, I don't, I didn't think it was like, significantly better. I mean, I guess Andres Gimenez in the past has had some bigger seasons, but going into the postseason and for much of the season, he was one of the worst offensive players in all of baseball. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is who he is. He's kind of the typical contact hitter type. I mean, I look at it, I didn't think it was significantly deeper. The problem is that the bottom of the Mariners order, Dominic Canzone, Victor Robles when he was in there, J.P. Crawford at times, they didn't produce it like they did maybe in August and September. And part of that is because they're seeing the best pitchers on a team in the postseason. But, I mean, they were exposed a little bit. But then again, I never thought like those guys were all like, JP's above replacement level. He gives you a really good at bat. But Robles and Canzone are kind of who they've been. Robles is, missed most of the season due to injury anyway. So I just, they didn't get a ton of production from those spots, but I didn't think it was like significant. I don't think that the bottom part of any team's order, even the ones that are in the postseason, are so demonstrably better than the others.
Mm-hmm. Now, I guess that kind of leads me into, all right, next step for that and the totality of this lineup. Before we get into the free agent decisions that, we'll talk about with Naylor and with Suarez and likely Polanco, how can the Mariners improve that bottom of the order? Is that just maybe natural development with a Williamson or Cole Young, or, hey, these are the guys they trust in another season of playoff experience? Is there a way to see them markedly improve that bottom of the order?
Yeah, I mean, you can go out and get guys and make it a deeper team. As much as everybody loves Leo Rivas and some of the heroics he provided, I mean, he is a defensive first player who's never really shown to be much of an offensive player. He's come up with some really big hits, and he gives you a tough at bat. But again, this is a guy that was essentially a career minor leaguer until last year. And so I don't necessarily look at him and saying, okay, you're building around him. They do need, if Cole Young is going to be the everyday second baseman or something close to it, then they're going to need him to be a little bit more consistent at the plate. I mean, I think he finished this season on like a 3 for 55 stretch. And it was kind of amusing because people were like, oh, you should have Cole Young in there in the postseason. I'm like, no, you really shouldn't. But I don't think he's that hitter. I don't know. I think, he got called up pretty early in his development, and I think we saw that towards the end, maybe some of the struggles, similar to Ben Williamson. I mean, the thing with Williamson is he's not going to provide you power. I think he's strong. It's just not in his swing or in his mindset. Maybe that can change. But, I think he kind of is who he is. Cole Young can be something more than what we saw, obviously, and they're going to need him to be. But, yeah, internally, I don't know that even like Dominic Canzone, I don't, what has he really shown? He had like two or three really good months or pretty good months. But for most of his career, he's been kind of an up and down hitter. So, I think by adding talent to the roster, and bringing in experienced talent, you're forcing some of those guys to become bench players, and you're making your lineup deeper. I mean, this is still one of the better lineups that they've rolled out there towards the end. But you look at who's coming back, what positions they need to fill. Like, I don't think that they can. I don't think anybody in that bottom of the order is just holding a spot forever just because they were on the team last year.
Ryan, you had a nice article a couple days ago outlining the future for the Mariners and the offseason plan. These three big names in the lineup with Naylor, Polanco, and Suarez, what do you see happening with Gino Suarez? He seems like the guy where, all right, the production when he came here wasn't great, but he still turned in one of the most iconic moments in franchise history in the playoffs. He is a little bit older, and I think everything you just said kind of hit me. Hey, what's the plan then at third? If there's no Gino Suarez, is Ben Williamson ready? What do you think happens at third base going to next season?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll still offer Suarez, but they're not going to offer him more than maybe 1 year plus a vesting option. I'd be stunned, and I don't think they're going to go like 15 or 20 million. I mean, I don't know that Gino's market is that high. Somebody may give him, 2 years, but he's 34, I believe. And I mean, there is a little bit of feast or famine with him, and does his numbers translate to T-Mobile Park the same way it did in Arizona and other places. If they don't have Geno, if they can't come to an agreement there, I think they're relatively comfortable going with a combo, like a platoon of Ben Williamson and Colt Emerson. From everything I've been told, Colt Emerson will come into spring training, and try and compete for a third base spot. It would be a massive jump. I think he's played 12 games of AAA and maybe 40 games of AA. But the Royals did that with Bobby Witt Jr. His first year, he started the season out at third base and then eventually took over shortstop. J.P. Crawford's got one more year left. So, it'd be a huge jump, and it'd be a lot to ask for Colt Emerson, but I think that they would let him at least go into spring training and compete for the job, and then maybe have more of a veteran utility type there, on a minor league deal that, they could plug in there if maybe Colt struggles. So, I don't think it's like the ideal situation, but based on what, kind of what the reporting has been, with what Jerry DiPoto said, they probably have about $30 million to really play with for off-season money. They're not going to, really go much more than that. I know it probably frustrates the hell out of some people, but everything they've said is kind of that's where their number's at, given, they wanted to finish. They were basically going to start next season with the same payroll they ended this season with. Well, you remove Mitch Haniger's 15 or 16 million and Mitch Garver's 12 million, and the money that they paid for Suarez and Naylor, which was added to the budget, roughly kind of equals out to about 30 million. So that's what they'll have to spend, to supplement this team. And if you look at it, they probably need they need a first baseman, they need a third baseman. They don't necessarily have a DH and then, you still need a bullpen help and maybe even supplement the outfield. So there are a lot of good prospects in the Mariners organization too. I wouldn't be surprised if they go out and they trade some of them to get help, that maybe is more established help, somebody from the Rays or something like that, where teams that don't have as much money or have established players but don't want to pay them in arbitration, they may, be able to flip some of their prospects for somebody like that. And I think that's a route they may go too. It's so funny. I spent all this time over the years writing about what the Mariners should and shouldn't do, and very rarely does it happen or what I think they're going to do. Jerry DiPoto and Justin Holler tend to go in their own direction, and they have a different vision. I think the one time I think we've all been right is we all wrote and said that they should trade for Naylor and Suarez, and they did it. But I don't know that that's quite the same out there, as signing some guys. And, I just don't think they're going to go all through free agency to try and run this team back.
So that number you mentioned, does that make Naylor too expensive for this team to bring back?
No, I don't think so. I don't, that would be the thing is like Naylor's price tag went up a little bit with how he performed in the postseason. Pete Alonso's out there and he's going to command the most money at first base. And traditionally, they haven't given a ton of money, but like we saw Christian Walker get 3 years at $60 million total, $20 million a year. He got that at like age 32 or 33. Like with Naylor, he's 28. So, he's going to want 4 years. And what the Mariners could do is like, if they want to get him somewhere near 80 million, like 4 years at 80 million, but they don't want to use it all now, they say their budget's a little taxed here, they can backload it a little bit, 12-ish, 15 or something, backload it so they could make it get to 80 million without being 20 million a year, and that may give them more wiggle room. It's tough to know. Like for as much as I talked to Josh, and it wasn't a ton, I don't really know what he wants. I don't think he wants to play in a place where he has to deal with the media every day. Like the idea of him playing in New York seems pretty illogical to me, but I think he likes Seattle. I think he really loved the experience, but at the same time, he worked hard to get to free agency, so he wants to get up what he considers a fair market value deal. And right now, that's looking at anywhere from 17 to 20 million a year for multiple years. And the Mariners' largest free agent contract under Jerry DiPoto that they signed for a position player was Mitch Garver, 2 years, $24 million. And I think that's what they would probably have to give to Polanco to get him to come back, is around something like that, 2 years, $12 million, or 2 years, $24 million. So that's, they could flirt with, I don't think it's hard at $30 million, but that would basically, if they sign Polanco and Naylor, that would probably just use up their entire offseason budget. That's why I think that they may have to go a trade route as well, and maybe they don't want to go another year with Randy Rosarena at $18 million. I think they like him. I think they love the production, but he was pretty awful from August 1st on.
Yeah, that playoff Randy didn't materialize. That was a little disappointing, but wow, good stuff laid out there, Ryan. It kind of got me thinking, okay, everything you just mentioned, what does this bullpen look like? Are they going to be able to address that? Because it seems like, hey, you do have maybe some concerns about the durability of an Edward Bizzardo or Gabe Spire going into next year after career highs in appearances. Do you think that's at the forefront of their concerns, or how do you see the bullpen maybe kind of looking at the start of the season and as the season goes along?
I mean, I think that they want to add to it. I'm sure they want to bring in at least one experienced arm, but I think that's a luxury spend at this point, and I think they also believe that they can find guys. How they found Edward Bizzardo, who was a DFA'd guy. There'll be guys that are going to get DFA'd this year. And that may be another trade thing as well. Like I said, I know I use the Rays a lot, but the Rays often trade relievers when they hit arbitration eligibility because they just don't want to spend the money on them. And they believe they can find similar value from players in different areas. So that may be a route they go. But yeah, they still need to add some arms. Expecting Gabe Spire and Bizzardo to be who they were next year after throwing this much, I think is unrealistic. And you may even have a regression from Andres Munoz. He threw as much as anybody this year too. So I think they have to add some more arms, and we didn't see a ton of them, though. I guess they go out and find guys on the free agent market, lower level guys, and try and use their analytics and their pitching lab to build them up. And I mean, I guess they could have used Will Klein after what he did last night. He looked pretty good.
How incredible is that? I mean, I know you are a guy who always rocks the Tacoma pride and the Rainiers pride. Your hat collection is very enviable. But to see someone like that he was in Tacoma, he was DFA'd by the Mariners. Now he's pitching on the biggest stage and kind of dominating. It was just kind of surreal.
It wasn't a question of he didn't have talent or anything. He had pretty good talent. He was throwing in the high 90s, but it kind of spiked up towards the end. From everything, it was just kind of roster. I don't know, just a process. They called him up, I believe, and he didn't actually pitch, and then they needed to make another move due to an injury, and so he was kind of like a casualty because he was out of minor league options, and so I think that was part of it. And so, but he, all the analytics and stuff said he could be good, but if you look at his numbers, he wasn't very good in Tacoma. Then again, a lot of pitching numbers in Tacoma aren't great just because you're pitching in the PCL in some of these parks. So I didn't really go in and dig into the metrics of how he did or some of his performances. I think Adam did today, but I remember him at spring training, and I remember watching him, and he was hitting 96 to 98. But what he did last night, adrenaline helps a lot, and you're pitching in the postseason, and it helps you focus. I think, good for him. But that's, the Mariners believe that sometimes you're going to be able to find guys like that out there on the minor league signs or on the waiver wire and such. If you just kind of pay attention to what's happening on the transactional side.
Hey Ryan, here's something I've been curious about. It's kind of gotten heightened by watching Trey Savage do what he did for the Blue Jays, get to the majors toward the end of the season, have an impact in the postseason. Do you have a sense of how likely it could be that Cade Anderson could do something similar? Do you think he could get to the majors next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think they believe that too. The big thing with Cade will be just kind of his usage and he didn't pitch after being drafted, because of the way the draft sets up now, because Major League Baseball in their uninfinite wisdom thinks that they need to have the draft at the All-Star game. These guys, these pitchers that are in an NCAA season, they take a huge amount of time off. So then to build them back up is illogical. All the data says don't do it, just let them rest. Whereas if they have the draft where they used to, they could build guys up to get them a handful of starts to professional level and kind of, just break them in with a little bit of easy runway to be honest. But now Cade's going to have to go in, and from everything I've been told, he won't be at big league camp. he'll be at their high performance camp, which is over, basically during big league camp. We may see him in a Cactus League game, but they want him to start the season with the normal minor league season. My guess is he'll be at, Everett, and we've seen guys that jump like that. That's what Savage did, and from all indications are that Cade Anderson, he's very advanced and has kind of a big league level repertoire and kind of that maturity already. So I wouldn't put it past him to be able to do that. He may come up to be his contributions later in the season may be as a reliever, not as a starter, just because you're trying to control innings, or maybe they control his innings from the outset. But I think anymore you're starting to see, because college baseball has gotten so much better, and all these places have pitching labs and all this stuff. I think you're seeing guys that can come out of drafts and be ready to contribute almost immediately. And Savage is one of those guys, and he was always kind of portrayed as that. The Mariners were always ticketed for Savage that year going into the draft, and then he had some injury issues and stuff, and a lot of teams pulled back, and they had him and Gerangelo Cincha as the two top arms that were in their area, and most of the teams just kind of were like, oh, we aren't certain about the injuries and the drop in velocity, and so the Mariners went with Cincha, who they thought was a little bit safer pick at that time.
Fascinating. Wow. Well, that's a revisionist history you just threw out there I hadn't even considered, so that's going to be fun to kind of dive back into. But Ryan, thanks for the time. Appreciate it as always. I think Dave and Bob, they send their regards. They like their vacation. They wish they could have done this interview with you as well. But I was like, hey, we can bother Ryan at some point down the line, but thank you for taking the time. We always appreciate you coming on with us this season.
You couldn't find anybody to come in there and hang out with you?
I know, isn't that sad, right? Isn't that just an indictment on me as a person? Just no one wanted to come in. We got Furbush coming in at 4:00. C-Raj hung around for a little bit, but they couldn't handle 3 full hours. I think that, you get that, right? You understand.
Some people rise to the occasion. Some people are gamers, and other people, they just sit on the sidelines. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm learning a lot about my real friends here. The guys that are not on the mics with me, and then those that are. I'm just going to talk to myself until I go crazy. So thank you for breaking up that monotony, Ryan. We appreciate it.
No problem, man. Take it easy.
All right, Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times. I always appreciate his insight. Does have an article up that he wrote a couple days ago, kind of outlining the path for the Mariners offseason. I know Adam Jude was just on with Bump and Stacy, so both of those two as well plugged in as anyone. And a lot to unpack there. I know Dave and Bob will probably get into that over the next few days about that offseason budget, the priorities, what it might take to re-sign Josh Naylor. But good insight from Ryan Divish there. We certainly appreciate everything that he chips in with on the Mariners beat. And yes, we did give him grief that he did take his sabbatical to coach Legion Baseball. Then he comes back right for this historic run. So, Ryan picking and choosing his spots there. And he got back just in time for a pretty historic Mariners run. If you did miss any of that interview, if you came in late to the interview, Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times, you can go to our YouTube page after the show, Seattle Sports YouTube. That'll be up there. Or Seattle Sports, Wyman and Bob. You can click on our Wyman and Bob show page there to listen to that full interview. That'll be up shortly as well. We also want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks game on November 9th against the Cardinals. All you need to do, open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text app to 866-979-3776 and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chance to win. This contest runs through Monday, November 3rd. Yes, the Seahawks are back in action. It's the Commanders coming up. They got to scout the Commanders a little bit last night. I'm sure always appealing for a Seahawks team that gets to sit around, rest up, and then watch their opponent on short rest go into this matchup on Sunday night. It's going to be a big one, especially with the stretch coming up after that Rams game looming. So we're going to catch up with Mike Macdonald and find out everything that happened during the bye week and then what their game plan is heading into the Commanders game on Sunday night. His weekly press conference will give you the latest from that. Coming up next here on Wyman and Bob, Mike Lefko with you on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Sean Payton is a bully.
Bump and Stacy.
He went out, tried to bully Russell Wilson on the low.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
I don't care how you feel about Russell Wilson. I think that Sean Payton, he saw an opportunity to take shots at a guy that he felt like wasn't going to say anything back to him. I've heard that he's a decent guy, but in that moment, that was some bully activity right there. Russell, I'm proud of you. Clap back at him and called out some facts, too. So I'm proud of Russell in that moment.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710. Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
This is the home of the Seahawks. Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN. Seattle Sports.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I know a lot of you guys are listening from your phones right now, so it's the perfect time to give a shout out to my friends over at AT&T. The other guys will make claims saying this and that about how great their network is, and I'm just here to set the record straight that AT&T is America's fastest and most reliable wireless network. I don't know about you guys, but it just gives me so much peace of mind when I'm going to do the things I love, and I know my wireless network's got me. Like if I'm going to a concert or a basketball game or even something outdoorsy, knowing I'm going to have fast service and can share what I'm up to is a game changer. You want to know you can post what you want to post, call who you want to call, and with AT&T, it literally doesn't matter where you're going. I promise you, they're already there. Don't just take it from me. Actual tests prove AT&T is America's fastest and most reliable wireless network. When you compare, there is no comparison. Based on Root Metrics' United States Root Score Report 1H 2025, tested with best commercially available smartphones on 3 national mobile networks across all available network types. Your experiences may vary. Root Metrics rankings are not an endorsement of AT&T.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Welcome back to Wyman and Bob. Mike Lefko here with you. We are back in game week for the Seahawks after that bye week. There's no Mike Macdonald interview with Brock and Salk earlier this week, but he did have his weekly press conference, and there's a lot to get to. Here's what the coach had to say leading into this game against the Commanders.
I'm sure you're beaming with injury questions, and we're going to save the injury answers for Wednesday. So hope you respect that. It's an extra day. Guys are back. We just had a good hour and 15-minute workout, practice, and onward we go. So,
you talked about doing you guys do self-scout. Coming out of the bye, how do you feel about this team after what you studied?
A lot of the things that we said going into the bye of, hey, where are we? We're in a position. We put ourselves in a position to really attack this second half of the season, and we know we can improve. Numbers support that. Tape supports that. The great thing is I don't think we have to reinvent ourselves. I think we're a team with an identity. We know who we are. We just have to go be that team every day. And when we do that, we give ourselves a really good chance to win.
Do you feel like you were a team with an identity last year?
I think we were looking. I think we were searching for it, especially this time of year. Yeah.
What did you learn about the run game and how you can get better in the run game?
It's everything, and I think we're on the right track. We have probably better focus, better understanding of what we do well and what we don't do as well, how we build things, who's out there, that sort of thing. But I think we don't need wholesale changes. We need to keep attacking it. There's detail involved. There's operation involved. Game plan, scheme, kind of all the above is room for improvement, and I think we saw last game we took a stride. We just got to keep moving in that direction.
Well, was there any thought to over the bye to any sort of personnel changes up front?
No.
How much attention do you pay to like around the league and just the NFC and NFC in particular is really competitive. A lot of teams are kind of all similar records.
Yeah, it's tough. It's you're so focused week in, week out on what you need to do in your operation, getting ready for every opponent, having the week away. Honestly, I didn't sit in front of the TV all Sunday, so we have an idea what's going on with the league. You want to have a great feel. There's a lot of people in our building that are doing that, and they're up to speed. But I don't know. It's kind of like I said at the beginning of the year. It's like it's cool. It's nice to pay attention, and at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter.
Mike, what's an old school principle that has stood the test of time? I heard you in an interview. You said. Yeah,
respect, integrity, work. Yeah, I gave you 3.
Thank you. What new methods have you put in?
You've been at every press conference. It's we're always tinkering with how we do things. It's travel schedule, how we practice, periods we do. Every tactic we have is a method. There's no hey, we have to do this old school principle play. It's all those things are up for evaluation all the time.
Is it true you've been nicknamed the sheriff in the weight room?
There's some truth to that. Yeah.
Why is it?
How do you? I'm impressed. You know that. I must be a joy to work out with. Apparently, if my nickname's the sheriff, I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you should be doing it right. So. No, that's good. We have a great group down there. Our strength guys are awesome. It's a great way to kick off the day. It's competitive. Just like our speed around the building. Like, we want to give each other crap, but we want to get great work in at the same time. So, same is true for when we're working out.
Is that part of your daily routine, early workout?
Yeah.
What else?
We'd like some more coaches to join us, but they're too busy. I'm sorry.
How many do you have working out so far?
What is there? Eight or 10 of us.
How early are we talking?
Starts at 6.
Mike,
don't be late.
Sorry. What was that feeling this morning when all your men were in the room and they just got back? I mean, what did for you as a teacher the process?
It's cool. I mean, there's different methods to how you approach the bye week. We felt like it was important to kind of recenter, get away, have the opportunity to maybe look at things through a different lens, zoom out a little bit. And I think our guys are determined. I think you could feel it was probably nice for them to have a little bit of a break, but they're also focused. I thought we had a really good day.
How good was it to get Robbie back out on the field again?
Yeah, it's great. Wasn't a long practice, but got some good reps in, good individual work, and we'll take it from there.
You obviously got
he had back to the running game, getting back in the lineup for you, whatever that's it.
Well, I think we've majored in 12 personnel, 13 personnel, when we put 2 core guys in the game when we're in 1 or 2 receiver sets. Brady's done a great job, in the fullback type of role. So we'll see how the game plan shakes out, but Robbie provides more 2-back flexibility than probably we've had.
Even Warriors said he's comfortable. How much of how you're using him is similar to the game tape you saw in South Carolina?
So you say that again, Greg.
How are you using even more? How similar is it to what you saw in the game?
Yeah, it's a little different. He was mostly at safety, like playing the deep area of the field. Now he was blitzing and coming out of the roof, and they do some good stuff on defense. So you're able to see him do the things, cover man-to-man, blitz, play the deep area of the field. But this role is a little different than they had him playing at South Carolina.
So he was more from the back, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got an extra week, obviously, to buy. If you were to get an extra hour every day, how would you spend it?
Man, if I were to give you something other than working on football, I'd probably be lying to you. I wish I had some novel answer, like I'd read a book or something, but that ain't happening.
How would you spend it on football?
It depends throughout the week, but it'd be nice to have a quiet hour in your office watching tape. Sounds like a good hour to me.
What did the Phelps guy think to you about the third down on the offense?
We're not there yet. Doing some good things. Protecting the quarterback well. Can improve though. Having less and shorter third down distances help. Great third down offense is one that really isn't out there on third down. I think it's kind of like the run game. It's like there's a lot of great stuff. We're not there yet, but I think what we're doing is good. It's sound. Guys are executing. We got to do everything better. We got to scheme a little bit better. We got to execute a little bit better, protect it a little bit better. I think once we start doing that, then we'll get better returns.
How much do you think the average distance that you guys have to gain overall percentage?
Yeah, well, I'd be lying if I told you the average distance, but it's always going to help. You start getting in some of those 4-down situations, runs become a threat. Teams can't get as fancy. You can't bring as many overload prep. I mean, the scales start being tilted in the offense's favor when those yardages go down. So, that's really everybody's goal. I mean, defensively, our goal is to keep them in as long as possible, so we can have the whole playbook at our disposal.
The preponderance of targets for Smith and Jigga, as long as it's working, you're cool with that, or do you want to force it balance?
Well, we want to include everybody. We have some great skill players on offense that have done some great things after the catch and down the field, it's not like we're just forcing the ball to Jax. I mean, he's a primary on a lot of concepts we're running, and as well he should be. But there's also things where he's second or third in the progression, the ball's finding him too. So I'd say both,
You talked about identity and people talk about the run game struggling, but you guys are actually significantly better on 3rd and 4th and 1 yard or short yardage situations than last year.
Yeah.
Are you seeing progress in kind of the short yardage situations compared to where you've been?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's funny. I'm listening to your question and I'm thinking of things we can be better at in those situations. But you have to be in order to win, especially late in the year, and beat really good teams. You have to be great on short yardage. It's just I don't know if it's like a fact or it's proven or anything, but it just feels like when you have to get a yard, you gotta be able to do it. And defensively, you gotta defend a yard. So that's something that I think there's some ebb and flow to it throughout the season. Start doing something, you're successful at it. Teams are gonna have answers. You gotta have answers for those answers. The menu significantly shrinks in those situations. So it's a little bit more game planny than maybe other situations.
Do you expect any activity for the trade deadline?
I'm sorry?
Do you expect them to be active at all for the trade deadline?
We're always active. I mean, we're always. I mean, how John rolls. We're in everything. We're constantly trying to do what's best for us. Sometimes that's through acquisition.
Expecting anyone to retire this bye week?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
The defensive front has been a strength for you guys all year. When you've got the depth and different guys making plays, just how much more does that help? Some people might have one edge guy or one tier guy who's kind of the focus, but when there's so many different guys making plays, I imagine that makes it harder on offense.
Well, I think that contributes to our identity is we're an 11-man rush. It takes all 11. We got some great rushers that deserve one-on-one opportunities, and that happens naturally throughout the course of the game. But we want to set all of our guys up for success. It's not really built around one guy. That's why we pressure the way we do. That's why we disguise the way we do. And the guys are bought in. If the guys aren't bought into doing it, it doesn't work. Just that's the way it goes. But our guys have been supportive of one another, and they understand that a rising tide raises all ships in this situation. So it's great. And and you have fresh rushers. It's hard to play the same 4 guys the whole game and be effective. Late in drives and late in games.
It was kind of funny there at the start for Mike Macdonald. Does not want to talk about injuries until he absolutely has to, which will be tomorrow. So the Seahawks back practicing. We'll get your first injury update of the week leading into the game against the Commanders, and we'll see how everything plays out before that Sunday night game for the Seahawks. Coming up next, though, back to the World Series and unpacking the chaos that was Game 3 last night and almost into this morning between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. That's coming up next here on Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passett with Brock and Salk.
If you are in the Mariners front office, what are you spending your offseason focusing on?
This feels like a beginning, not an end. I see this being the beginning of the best run in the history of this franchise. The sheer number of really good prospects that the Mariners have lead me to believe that they're going to be in this position again.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here, and after 20 years of living in our home, our window sills started breaking. That's when I called Harley Exteriors. They're huge fans of our teams and regular listeners at the station, but what really sold me was their Olympic Series windows, built right here in Washington, designed for Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. They're beautiful windows that last up to 60 years, and they'll help with noise, too. Harley Exteriors knows you've been spending a ton on playoff tickets, so they have a special deal for Seattle sports listeners. No interest and no payments for an entire year. Also, buy one window and get the second one 40% off, and take another $200 off your entire project. They're the friendliest team and so easy to work with. You call the number and the person on the other line asks, "How can I make you smile today?" Just give them a ring and tell them you heard our ad. Call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Hear that? Sounds like simple. Valvoline Instant Oil Change simple. No appointments. About 15 minutes to change your oil. Then out the door and back to life.
Yeah, honey, on my way.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Expert service doesn't need to be overcomplicated.
No, it's not too soon to start holiday shopping. Ulta Beauty's early Black Friday event is happening now through November 22nd. Shop $10 beauty minis from brands like MAC and Too Faced. Take 30% off Lancome and Touchland fragrances and body mists. With new offers dropping every week, our associates can help you find the perfect gifts. Head into Ulta Beauty today to shop our early Black Friday event. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
At Bible Law Group, we know how important voting is. That's why we're partnering with Seattle's own rock star Aaron Jones to rock the vote Thursday, October 30th at the Queen Anne Beer Hall. Vote and enjoy delicious smash burgers with Aaron and local bands by getting your ticket at bit.ly/BibleRock. If you've misplaced your ballot, don't panic. In Washington, you can still print a provisional ballot online and drop it in any official ballot box by November 4th. When prayer just ain't cutting it for your legal needs, we suggest two things: vote and call Bible Law Group.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We have made like the Dodgers. Gone to the bullpen. The big lefty has come in early as well. Didn't know he'd go to the bullpen this early, but you leave nothing behind. You pull out all the stops. It's a must-win show today on a Tuesday. You play for the win. So Furbush is here. Hey, Charlie, welcome back, I want to say, because I know Dave and I were sitting with you last week, and we were like, Charlie, this has been great, a lot of fun. We really enjoyed you coming into studio, but that's it. We won't see you forever, and now you're back.
October Fools.
Hey, there it is. All right. What a fun way to close out the month. And, yeah, we got a few minutes here. We'll get back to this a little bit at 4 o'clock as well. But, hey, that game last night, this World Series game, I think – even if you still were kind of upset and frustrated about the Mariners not making it, maybe you weren't going to watch, the historic nature of 18 innings, kind of compelling for just anyone. It felt like the casual sports fan, people may be tuning in thinking, okay, well, now it's the 13th. Now it's the 15th. Now it's the 18th inning. You managed to stay up the whole thing. You're a dad.
You better believe I stayed up.
You're a relatively new father who has to go to sleep, get his sleep in, but you stayed up for the whole thing.
Stayed up for the whole thing, absolutely. And, it's a 2-for-1 game, right? I mean, you get two games for the price of one, and it's kind of wild. And I think that's it's just a fun thing to watch, right? You realize it's going to be a crazy finish, and I will say it was really nice to get a little bit of Mariner love on TV last night. The Mariners won that 15-inning game against the Tigers. They showed a little celebration there on TV, and also mentioned the 18-inning game that they unfortunately lost. But it's so wild when you're in those type of situations, and you can almost feel like someone's just trying to end the game, like someone's trying to hit a home run, and it was just seemingly they didn't score a run for like 3 hours. It was like it was absolutely bonkers. But what a trip! So yeah, I was glad to stay up and watch it, and just finally make one mistake and Freddie Freeman takes him deep. So it's wild how it unfolds.
Have you ever been in a situation like that? I know not 18, but like in extra innings, you can feel that hitters are just desperate. Do you have to approach them differently, knowing that they're just trying to run into one?
It's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be aware, right, of the situation. And what I seemingly I keep realizing, or maybe it's just like burned in my head as of late, but all these homers that are being hit are all on fastballs, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I think from an approach standpoint, I just wonder if the pitchers are just getting, trying to just get away with a pitch or throw one in the zone to, even up the count when, you may have to rely on your off-speed pitches to get a guy out, because the last thing you want to do is run into a worst-case scenario where you give up a homer, right? And that's like the one thing you can't do. You can't give up a homer there, right? If you're the Blue Jays, you go, all right, we can give a run, but like as a pitcher, you can kind of salvage it if you give up a hit or a walk or a hit batter. You're like, you can salvage it, but if you just give up a homer, it's over. So you have to figure out ways to, maybe approach certain hitters a little differently based on their tendencies. So when I used to come out of the bullpen, one of the things that I always, I was honestly not a big stat guy when it came to like, taking in a lot of information. But the only question I really wanted to know, and this is something I learned after my first year and talking with some other veteran bullpen guys, was what is the percentage of first pitch swinging? I want to know if these guys are coming in hacking. And more often than not, they were. So it allowed me to say, all right, well, maybe I can throw a pitch here, just outside the zone, and they're going to be aggressive and get themselves out. So it's a really fun thing to watch from a pitcher perspective of how these pitchers are attacking guys and what pitchers they're throwing to get guys out, and then what hitters are swinging at to get themselves out. So it's a cat and mouse game, and you can see some frustration on some hitters' eyes, as the game unfolded for sure.
I actually felt bad for the first time, maybe ever, for the home plate umpire. That's a lot of work behind the plate. He wasn't getting the benefit of a fruit plate catered to you like old Vlad got over there. That dude grinding away, just staring down the barrel of 100+ miles an hour coming right at him for 18 innings.
I mean, great job, ump. But
great job. Great job, catchers. Great job,
You may have missed a couple calls.
But, okay, see, at that point, that was the one situation where I'm like, he did miss a call. I was like, you know what? This dude can probably barely see. He hasn't eaten since who knows when. He's been standing in a crouch. He doesn't get a break either. When you're in the field, you got to go sit in the dugout for half an inning. That dude's just there behind the plate. So I had to shout out whoever the home plate umpire is, and I should have learned his name.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to shout him out immediately right there. Forgot what his name was, but good job, home plate umpire. I wanted to give him a fruit plate because Joe Davis and John Smoltz were complaining about it so much that they got one brought to them. Now, I get it. I get hungry as well, so I'm sure they were starving. But then I just thought about that umpire who did not get to eat anything. Well, Vlad was just chowing down, and the broadcasters eating away.
It's all of them, not just the home plate guy, right?
Yeah, but you don't have to be as locked in if you're just chilling at
That
third.
might be a debatable statement right there.
Sure, but you
fair foul. I'm not locked in.
There's not as much at stake every single pitch.
True.
For the third base umpire. He better be on when a play comes to him, when a ball goes down the line and it's a close bang play and you got to decide fair or foul. But every single pitch, that home plate umpire has to bring it.
He can manage his hangriness.
Yeah, you got to workload. Work. What's the
no wonder why
load management? Basketball. That's the term. The umpires can load manage.
So you probably don't want to get into an umpire, in an extra inning game, 13, 14 innings. He's hangry, so he's obviously he's going to toss you immediately.
I did think about that. What happens if you get tossed and there's no one left on the bench? We would have seen some scrambling. So we'll get into that more. We'll dive into the chaos of this World Series. Then, Charlie, since you are here and we're going to take up your time, some offseason questions as well for the Mariners. We'll dive more into the priorities for this team and what you expect might happen. Mike Lefko and Charlie Furbush with you here on Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Get inside the huddle.
The handoff inside. It's Charbonnet. He's going to go. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Taking you inside the VMAC every week. Thursdays, noon to 2.
Our guys show up to play.
Player interviews.
It's obviously been paying off. Just going to continue to do that.
Previewing this week's matchup.
We'll say they come out and just run the ball down the Niners' throats.
And everything Seahawks.
If anybody had a doubt, don't.
The Huddle. Every Thursday at noon. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Are you in pain? This is Dave Wyman, and if you're experiencing pain in your shoulder, elbow, wrist, hip, or knee, do what my friend and co-host Bob Stelton did and go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
It's been a huge game changer. After 13 years of jiu-jitsu, I had a lot of issues with my hip. It was bad, so I'd heard a ton of patients raving about the results from their 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner, so I had to check it out. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. Now, people with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back to doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery.
Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowes.com/pro-loyalty for details. Subject to change.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Paying extra for tire care is BS. You know, bad service. So at Midas, we're rolling out our BS-free tire guarantee, included with paid installation and tax on every purchase. You'll pay nothing for flat replacements, nada for flat repairs, and zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles. That's $0 for all that. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the BS-free tire guarantee, only at Midas.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Game 4 of the World Series starts shortly. You can hear it on Seattle Sports beginning at 5 o'clock. Shane Bieber and Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, respectively. And yes, Shohei Ohtani is leading off. So in the lineup, you have Shohei Ohtani, pitcher, also batting leadoff for the Dodgers. In the NFL, the Saints have met Spencer Rattler and officially named rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck their starter. The second-round pick actually made his NFL debut on the final drive of the game against the Seahawks earlier this season. And for the Commanders, wide receiver Terry McLaurin re-aggravated his quad injury last night that had kept him out for the previous 4 games. An injury update coming tomorrow before the Seahawks face the Commanders on Sunday night.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
A fun trip to the bullpen today. Mike Lefko and Charlie Furbush here with you. We go until 5 o'clock. I haven't really determined your workload yet. I mean, it's kind of like the Dodgers last night. Hey, are they going to throw Will Klein? Is he going to go just an inning? Is he going to go the distance and keep throwing? We're going till 5. We'll see how much we can rely on Furbush. We have to make the call again. But hey, welcome. Thanks for popping in.
Used to be a starter, so used to go deep
You're
in the
good to
game.
go.
And now, I can come down and get one guy out if you need. So versatile is
just
my
like
name.
Clayton Kershaw.
That's
Which,
right.
by the way, how strange does that end up being where Kershaw comes in, this huge moment is made about him coming in to pitch in relief in the World Series, comes in with the bases loaded, gets that one out, and then he just faced that batter, and it looked like a costly decision because the Dodgers had to go, 6 more pitchers. They used 9 pitchers on the night. So I'm guessing Dave Roberts might have wanted him to go a little longer, but he got his one out.
Yeah,
So we'll use you for your one good segment here.
That's it.
Yeah, you can stay
whatever,
on.
that's
You
whatever
can go
it
hang
takes.
with Matt. He's missed some of your conversations and all that. So he's loved
Sorry,
being
it's pretty
back there
full
by
back
himself.
here, actually. I don't think there's room.
Matt has loved having the back to himself, so he's not going to let you back there anyway.
That's okay.
You might be stuck in here with me for the final
But
hour.
yeah, you bring up Kershaw. I was rooting for Kershaw in that situation for all he's done for the game, and being a future Hall of Famer, and playing with one team, his whole organization, and he ultimately has kind of had a subpar playoff career at this point, where he's kind of had some clunkers out there. So for him to come in and have his first World Series bullpen appearance in that situation, bases loaded, and come in and get it done, it was huge. I think just a really cool moment that he'll look back on and look at all the moments in his career, and that's going to be on one of the top moments for sure.
We saw an interesting text come in. Curtis Rogers was here with me to start the show, and we we're kind of breaking this down. And someone texted in, it was a good game if you're a baseball fan. If you're a Mariners fan, you might not have cared to go all 18 innings. So I'm curious. 866-979-3776. Did you have a rooting interest? Did you watch the entire game? And do you think it was a good game? Because everyone kept talking about it in terms of historical context. This is going to be one of the most memorable games ever. And you did see the instant overreaction. Greatest game ever. One of the greatest games the last 50 years. I'm trying to come to terms with whether it was even a good game. A lot good happened in the first 9 innings. But then as you got to the second 9, part 2, it was kind of annoying in extra innings. So I don't know. How do you feel about this? Was it a good game, a bad game, or both?
Yeah, I mean, I have to lean that it was a good game given the history that happened, throughout the whole thing. So I think it's easy to look at it from I think the average baseball fan says, oh, this thing took forever. There wasn't much offense. There wasn't much action. I'm bored, right? And I think, baseball's dealt with this problem, for a long time, being like, it's a little too boring, speed up the play. Here's the pitch clock. All these things have been implemented to give that experience a little bit, make it a little bit better. But it's hard. It's really hard to say it was a bad game, from my point of view, because of the epic battle that ensues. And I think that, these games now, especially when it comes to the, maybe not 18-inning games, but, even like a 13, 14-inning game, like you're only going to see them in the playoffs now. And I think that's just one of the things that, as a lot of people that grew up, or as we grew up, we saw baseball games every regular season go as many innings as it took till someone won a game, right? So now with the, regular season rules being runner on second base, it changes the entire dynamic. I mean, can you imagine if the game certainly would have ended way sooner had that happened, in the playoffs here. But that's where I think it really kind of showcases what, the game has been like for years, and to have this experience as a fan, to see it, I think that, when you're on the Mariners side of things, it maybe brings back some memories that you go, well, these games aren't that much fun to play in. And I think, you heard it even in Freddie Freeman's post game right after it. He's like, I'm just glad we won this game, right? I think it's easy to pick it apart, but you just want to be on the winning side of it, because then it just feels like you outlasted them, and it didn't really, give them any credit to that they beat you or you beat them. It's just that you play 18 innings and just one domino flipped and you get a run, and that's it. So, I mean, I do think it was a good game, but I can see the other side of it. But I tend to think that that's more of the, I just want all action. I want all offense, and not really appreciating the pitching defense side of things.
Yeah, what about that offense, man?
Oh, I know. I get it, man. Believe me, as a former pitcher, I don't – it's not like I relish in the fact that, I just want to see one-run games or a 3-hit shutout or something like that. Like, those are great, but believe me, I'm just as much as a fan. Obviously, when I wasn't pitching, I didn't want to give up all these runs and home runs and whatnot, but it's certainly fun to watch. From that, my perspective is, when someone runs into it and hits one 450, you go, that was fun to watch. A lot of things I like about it.
Can I bring up something that,
please?
It's not going to be popular and well received.
Okay, maybe
it's
not.
Tough to change. It would seem like it would be almost a radical change, and that doesn't go over well in sports. You have to see it before you come around to it. I remember how worked up we all got about this pitch clock and the rules and the shift being banned, and it kind of was pretty smooth when they introduced those before. What was it, the 2022 season? Or 2023 season, one of those, it was like, whoa, we're putting a clock on, everyone's going to be forced to sped up, and now you haven't really noticed it. But the one thing that really stood out that was of peak annoyance as a baseball fan and a fan of wanting the best players to come through in the best moments was the 4 fingers up 4 times in a row for Shohei Ohtani. Doesn't get a bat at all in a meaningful moment. From a competitive standpoint, sure, I understand that, absolutely. From an entertainment standpoint, I'm just wondering, can you penalize that more? Can you do something to make it a little more punitive? And I'm not going to throw out a bold solution of, maybe the second time you intentionally walk him, it's 2 bases. But what do you think about bringing back the have to pitch all 4 pitches before you intentionally walk a guy? I know you guys have said it doesn't seem like much, but that adds some element to it, right? Where if you're in extras and Shohei Ohtani's there and you want to send him to first, runners at second and third, to have to throw those 4 pitches, I imagine that adds a little bit more pressure than just saying, yep, give him the wave, go down to first. Would you bring that back? Or is it overblown? Like, is it very easy for you to throw 4 pitches outside and walk the guy?
Interesting comment.
I just want to see something.
Yeah,
I mean, Ohtani literally walked over the plate. Everyone knew it was coming. 4 times in a row. Nope, just keep walking.
So would you be more comfortable seeing 16 balls in a row?
I want to go through the process of that just to make sure if a guy is trying to be too precise and he leaves one close to the plate and Ohtani reaches over and flicks that one into left, you at least have
Yadier Molina style through the bat.
You at least have the possibility of something happening with the best player up because you took Ohtani out of the game. Strategically, obviously that's what you're going to do. But when you add that element of making someone throw those 4 pitches, who knows? Maybe it's nothing, and I'm sure baseball doesn't want to do that because they're trying to speed up the game, and everything has been towards speeding it up, not slowing it down. I just want some way to avoid, hey, we walked him 4 times in a row unintentionally, and then we pretty much intentionally walked him the 5th time. Or intentionally walked him 4 times, and then pretty much did the same thing the 5th time.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how it would be any different from a pitching standpoint, being like, well, we're still not going to throw him a strike, you know what I mean? And I don't think that it would be that difficult for a major league pitcher to throw 4 balls outside the zone, knowing that he's not going to swing. They're going to be uncompetitive pitches. They're going to be so far out.
So you never screwed up doing that? I think Ryan said he's screwed up before.
I definitely screwed up.
There you go. Just the thought of that. Yeah.
So there's 2 things have happened. One, I screwed up in Oakland. Actually, I think both these things happened in Oakland. And it was because I didn't know, and this was like the first time I had done this. Like I'm not even sure if they even make you do it in the minor leagues, right? Like it's not something that happens very often where you run into somebody and you have to, execute an intentional walk and then stay in the game. So the time that I did it was in Oakland, and I had to learn the hard way is that I used to lob it. I used to just like lob it in there, and I realized that I can't do that. Like
I go over the catcher's head.
Well, so
okay,
well,
I'm too excited. I'm sorry. I'll let you tell the story. Yeah.
No, exactly. So of course, what happens is I lob it and I short it, and it comes in, and he's got to block it. The catcher's got to block it off his chest, and I'm like, oh man, that was not good. So of course I do the opposite, right? Launch it over, over his head, and it comes right back. It's fine. Like nothing, bad happened. Walked him, threw it hard the next 2 pitches. And I realized that I just had to throw it hard. Like as long as if I tried to play catch and lob it, it was never going to work out. I couldn't be as accurate as I was when I was kind of closer to max effort. And then the other one that was the most difficult for me, and I still, if I had any sort of gripe to look back on my career and be like, man, really, I had to do this? And we could probably pull it up like 2013 or 14. We're playing the A's, and I have to face Josh Reddick. I came in to face a lefty, and he was playing great. Like he was on a good streak. And I'll never forget, they made me intentionally walk a lefty. So I had to left on left. I'm like, this is the worst thing.
Where do you throw it?
Well, I obviously threw it in the right hand. Yeah, but I was just like, I'm supposed to face this guy. This is why I'm here. I'm supposed to get this guy out. And you're like, no, he's too good right now. We're not even going to let you face him.
He's too good for you to face him.
Yeah,
even though you're the guy we want in there.
Exactly. And of course, I've done pretty well off him in my career overall. So I thought for sure I'd have a chance. But I just remember, the intentional walks were always something that were a little tough. And then you also couple into the fact that the reason why that it's 4 balls and just get on first base is the time, right? Like you look at the total time of a baseball game, and if that happens a few different times and pitchers have to stop and throw 4 pitches, and then you add a couple more minutes, and then it just adds up over thing. And MLB doesn't want that, so they're all in favor of this. But I totally see your point of wanting to have the best players play, and how that kind of changes your feeling about the game, knowing that the greatest player in the world right now isn't getting an opportunity.
What about this to kind of tinker with it? A few people have texted us in, so thank you, texters, for this proposal. If you put a limit on the amount of times you can intentionally walk someone, does that feel arbitrary? Sure, but there are all sorts of strange, arbitrary rules in sports. I mean, you can only stand in a certain spot now. The shift has been outlawed, so, hey, you can only stand here, you can only stand here. That, I'm sure, seemed weird at first, but we got used to it. So what about this? And I think a few texters have said 2, so we'll just go with 2. What about if you could only intentionally walk a batter twice in a game? Think about that strategy where, hey, you want to walk Ohtani in the 9th, and you want to do it again in the 14th, but now all of a sudden he comes back up in the 17th. You didn't think you'd have the 17th inning, and you have to face him. How about that for drama?
Well, wouldn't you get like one extra for the extra innings?
All right,
And, like,
sure.
two
You get
for
one
the
extra,
game,
but
and
still,
then-
if you only had 3, same thing, because
Yeah.
they intentionally walked him 4 times.
Right. No, I get it. But I still,
Did we just
it
save
still comes
baseball?
back. Yeah, baseball is now
We just
saved.
saved baseball.
We
right?
saved it. We saved it.
We saved long extra inning baseball.
No, but even if that rule exists, you bring back into the pitcher being like, well, I'm still not going to throw him a strike. Like,
and just walk.
Yeah, you just walk him, and you go, well, and that's what, when you look in the scouting reports and you sit in those rooms before the game starts, it's like, okay, we can't let this guy beat us. Like this, we are willing to get beat by Mookie, by Freddie, by anyone but Shohei, right? And I think that's where the approach lies, is that and I think you see this similarity with Cal this year, is like, he started getting pitched differently, and people started attacking him differently, and realizing that, oh, we're going to put him on base. We're going to ball four. Like, I think you saw more of that, realizing that we don't want to get beat by the guy that has been on a tear. And I think that when you're playing a certain caliber of baseball, it's easy from other manager standpoint being like, yeah, no chance we're facing this guy. This guy's incredible right now. It doesn't matter who's throwing. It just felt like that was a second homer he hit yesterday. I was just like, no way. No, this can't be true that he got another thing. I'm like, the fastball right down the middle, dude. Why are you throwing Shohei these beautiful pitches for him to tee off on?
You know who threw that pitch?
Was it Sir Anthony?
He did.
Yeah.
The one who served it up to Gino Suarez. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
More like serving it up, Anthony.
Oh.
Been here too long. All right, that was terrible. I like this one. 360 text in, and this is exactly like rec league softball. I don't know if you had this in your league, but I've played in some leagues where this is the case. 360 says if you intentionally walk a batter 2 or more times in a row, like the consecutive at bats, the batter after him gets to walk as well.
So it's 3 in a row.
No. So like if Shohei was walked intentionally, or hey, even if he was walked for the 3rd time in a game unintentionally, Mookie Betts would automatically get a walk. So you push the runner up more. So it becomes so punitive.
So you take the bat out of Mookie's hand?
No, but then Shohei's automatically at second. So you're putting a runner on, and you're putting him further up. That happens in rec league softball, where they don't want you to just walk a guy to get to a girl. If you're a co-ed softball league. So
I
like
haven't,
if you,
I haven't made any teams
you played
yet.
real baseball.
Yeah,
so
I
yeah.
did. Well, I'm waiting for an invite.
For
maybe
those
I'll
of
make
us that
roster.
our athletic peak was in rec league softball, if you walk, and it's co-ed, so you have a certain number of girls, certain number of guys. If you just try to walk a guy to get to the female batter, if you walked the guy, the female batter behind the guy would automatically get on base as well. So maybe that's something.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we'll workshop it.
No,
this
I
is
know,
just
but this is
off
good.
the
This is
cuff.
good.
I appreciate the listener insight. We'll send these all right on to Rob Manfred.
I think the point is we just want to see Ohtani.
Yes,
right?
thank you.
I mean,
we just want to see
Ohtani.
Ohtani because he had this absurd stretch, and it made for the most random delineation between getting on base and then not even having to do anything. Just the fact that he did start 4 for 4.
Yeah.
And he just has this insane impact on the game, and then did not swing the bat the rest of the
He
time.
comes up with all his gear on. He's got his hand, his
He
elbow, his
goes
leg.
through
He's got to
the
take it on and
motions.
off each time.
4 intentional walks, and then, let's be honest, an intentional walk on that 5th time. So his final 5 trips to the plate all result in free passes. That's just kind of a strange scene there. So,
Yeah, well, they still won, so it's all good.
Well, that was, all good.
Well, I mean, they
You rooting
won.
for the Dodgers?
No.
Oh.
I'm still rooting for the Blue Jays.
Okay. I was going to ask you about that, too.
All right, we'll get into it.
Did you sway? No, we'll get into it right now.
Right now, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, well, we'll talk Mariners next. We're going to talk about them now. We'll talk about them at 4:30. We'll keep you around for that, right?
I would love to stay.
Okay. Charlie made the executive decision that he was going to stay, so I appreciate that. We were trying to get him out of the bullpen. He's like, I'm making the executive decision. We're coming in. We're staying until 4:40.
That's right.
So
This is going to be a long relief appearance.
Long relief appearance here.
Got to cover a few innings here before we hand it off to Munoz, right?
Yes, and by that, Munoz is the actual start of Game 4. You can hear it at 5 o'clock here on Seattle Sports. Yeah, let's get back to that. Haven't had anyone else to chat about this with. Even after watching 3 games, you're rooting for the Blue Jays.
Correct.
Yeah. You didn't feel kind of like, hey, the Mariners could be there. They could have won Game 1 after watching what they did in Game 1 against the Dodgers?
No.
Did you feel better about the Mariners, though?
I'm not sure if I'm indifferent. I don't think it I think that's where it's like once the Mariners lost and it was, over, it's just what a gut punch. And you're just sitting there going, I don't know. I mean, I think that's where, as we've talked about this a couple of times, I can see being like, Dodgers, go crush the Blue Jays for everything the Blue Jays did to us, right? Like, just take care of business. But then I think there's also the side of, well, we want to lose to the best team, right? And in theory, the Blue Jays, if they win, are the best team, right? Wouldn't that be considered true if they win the World Series?
If you didn't feel any better after Game 1, do you think? And sure, I'll bring it back up again. I'll call you after the Blue Jays win the World Series if they win.
Bring me back in.
Yeah, I'll bring you back in just for this. Hey, Charlie, do you feel better now the Blue Jays won the World Series about the Mariners season? Or do you feel the same?
I mean, I still probably feel the same.
Okay. Well, I'll call you when it happens.
I still feel really good about the Mariners. I mean, as crappy as it was to see that game end, I still am very ecstatic and pleased with this year, right? I mean, aren't you? Like, wasn't this like one of the most fun seasons in Mariner?
Yes, that's why I don't need to feel better about the Blue Jays. I won't feel better about the Mariners. I already feel great about what they did. I will feel worse because I know that then they could be called World Series champions because of the way. See, and I like that you were more acceptable to this idea, and Dave was just like, no. And now he's been gone.
I told you, I'm a versatile guy. Yeah. I thought I was Twizzlers. Now I like Red Vines, right? I mean, we go back and forth.
I didn't know this.
Remember, you gave me the Red Vines last time I was here.
I didn't know that swayed your opinion. Okay.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I'd like to put them next to
Matt, what are you? Are you Red Vines or Twizzlers? Where do you fall on this debate?
Either.
See,
it's all candy.
I appreciate his approach.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, you seem like anti-Twizzlers.
No. He knows. Matt knows. I'm all food all the time. All candy all the time as well.
All right.
But if I had to pick, if someone gave me both of these, I'm like, all right, I'm going Red Vines. Mm-hmm. So yeah, with that. And I wanted to qualify it too. And I think this is important because we did have people passionately texting in on what was that, Wednesday or Tuesday? No,
Tuesday.
Wednesday when you came in.
Yeah.
And people did not understand my point of view. But the whole thing was, and I think you got there, had the Mariners been blown out by the Blue Jays, they reach the ALCS, but they just get destroyed. Maybe you want some validation or reaffirming that, yes, they got to the final stage. They got to the ALCS, and they lost to a team that was so good that, all right, you feel better about that. But because the Mariners had 3 chances to win that series and be in the World Series, it hurts more seeing the team that you should have beaten, or could have, not should have, sorry, I shouldn't say should have, could have beaten, because the Blue Jays have a great lineup, and they prove that they are a very good team. But because the Mariners had 3 chances to win that series, it makes it more painful to then theoretically see that team go celebrate afterwards.
Again,
boom.
I see.
Verdict shut.
I see your side of it.
Case closed.
You know what I mean? Like, I totally understand where you're coming from that side of things. Like, it makes sense the way you put it. You know what I mean? But you go back to, so it's all these hypotheticals, right? Like how do you, and that's where like it gets kind of wonky when we start thinking about it, and it's really kind of this, irrelevant topic, but it is fun.
This is the 18th inning bullpen baseball discussion of this. We're in the extras, the late extras here right now.
Okay.
For the final few minutes of this segment.
Okay. I was going to say this was it
was fun to get back to. I brought it back because you were back.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll put it to rest.
No, and I get it. I mean, I just, from the athlete side, you look at it and the team that you just beat, it's hard to be like, or the team that just beat you to be like, oh, now if they win the World Series, the Blue Jays, that's essentially saying that we should have won the World Series.
Yes, that's why it's more painful.
Well, I think that's where I understand where I think that's where I have a tough time getting on to your side of the argument of being like, oh, because if the Blue Jays win, now I'm more mad,
right?
Because they won, and I don't know. It's hard to see that. Okay. So I don't know, man. I like the way your mind works on this.
Thank you. I think we have a bigger issue right now. Before we put the wraps on this, 206 has texted in. Red Vines and Twizzlers are both disgusting. It's like chewing on plastic.
Okay.
How dare you? 206. All right, blocked.
Well, see, he's not wrong.
Nah.
I mean, we gotta call like we see it here, Left Go, right? I mean, They're
some people
little
aren't
red tubes of
Some people aren't candy people. That's
plastic-like.
Maybe they're chocolate
goodness.
person.
I mean, I'm a chocolate guy. I probably would go chocolate over candy if I had to pick between.
Okay.
Where do you fall?
I agree. So that's not going to be a debate because I agree with you. So it won't be fun. But we will get into some Mariners-related things. Charlie, I do want to get your thoughts on these three guys. We're lumping Polanco in with the other two free agents, with Naylor and with Suarez, because he's expected to turn down his player options. So we'll talk about those three and about the offseason stages for the Mariners coming up. But we want to send one of you and three friends to watch the Seahawks game on November 9th against the Cardinals. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text APP to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chance to win. This contest runs through Monday, November 3rd. So how much would it actually cost to sign Josh Naylor, and what's the competition going to be like? We're going to dive into that up next. It's Mike Lefko and Charlie Furbush with you here on Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Hawks Live. Presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Live from Bellevue Square Center Court. Come on by and join hosts Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer and a different Seahawks player every week.
This should be fun.
Hawks Live. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
I know a lot of you guys are listening from your phones right now, so it's the perfect time to give a shout out to my friends over at AT&T. The other guys will make claims saying this and that about how great their network is, and I'm just here to set the record straight that AT&T is America's fastest and most reliable wireless network. I don't know about you guys, but it just gives me so much peace of mind when I'm going to do the things I love, and I know my wireless network's got me. Like if I'm going to a concert or a basketball game or even something outdoorsy. Knowing I'm going to have fast service and can share what I'm up to is a game changer. You want to know you can post what you want to post, call who you want to call, and with AT&T, it literally doesn't matter where you're going. I promise you, they're already there. Don't just take it from me. Actual tests prove AT&T is America's fastest and most reliable wireless network. When you compare, there is no comparison. Based on Root Metrics' United States Root Score Report, 1H 2025 tested with best commercially available smartphones on 3 national mobile networks across all available network types. Your experiences may vary. Root Metrics rankings are not an endorsement of AT&T.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown, Seahawks! Ken Walker III. Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. For my friends at People Come First or PCF Construction Group, are you tired of just grilling in the cold and rain every winter in the Northwest? Well, with a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long, staying warm and dry, even in the wintry months. And I have a special offer for you. PCF's Black Friday sale runs through November, and you can get up to 20% off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Most people don't consider building a deck in winter, but if you want yours ready by next spring and summer, then contact PCF right now to start planning. Spend the winter dreaming, designing, and approving your project so you're ready to build by the spring. Remember, planning and permits take time, so get started right now. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mike Lefko and Charlie Furbush here with you. We got him going the distance. He's loosened up. Charlie, you knew we need some innings out of you. You're bringing your best, Will Klein. How crazy is that this guy is now the most famous Dodger coming out of yesterday? Has an awesome beard. What a cool story anyway. And then there's a Mariners connection.
I know. He was with Tacoma. Of course, rub it in.
No. I mean, no. He had been released years ago. He'd been released like months ago. It felt like a year ago. It's just cool to see someone's career kind of plop up randomly. That he would not have been part of the Mariners. We know that their bullpen's good enough.
But when you look at the history of his kind of career, though, he's been a high octane, upper 90s, touching 100 type of thrower that really didn't know where it was going, and when he did, kind of got hit. So it's funny that you bounce around to an organization or two and then finally land on one that lets you kind of shine. And I think that's where Klein has fallen himself into the Dodgers organization that kind of, I think, unlocked him a little ways. Seemed like he was just completely locked in last night. And that's what happens when you get into playoff baseball. There's going to be a guy in the bullpen that's going to come up big that you just didn't see coming up big. And I mean, that is, even today, I think, or maybe it was last night when, Sandy Koufax gave him some love. Like that's like, how cool is that? I mean, talk about one of your all-time major moments, and then to have the walk-off homer and get the win. I mean, just so cool for Will Klein.
Well, hopefully next year at this time, we are talking about the actual Mariners in the World Series. They did get very, very close, Game 7 of the ALCS. But to get back there, it feels like Josh Naylor is a must. That to get back to the World Series, Josh Naylor will be a big part of that, especially based on what he meant to the clubhouse this past season, what he brought to them in terms of production. And Jeff Passan this morning on Brock and Salk was breaking down what the competition level might be like for the Mariners in trying to sign Josh Naylor.
A first baseman in free agency, they don't do great. We've seen this with Pete Alonso. We've seen this with Freddie Freeman. The reason Freddie Freeman is a Dodger is because of the industry aversion to signing first basemen to long-term contracts in Major League Baseball. Now, here's why I think Naylor's a little bit different, or at least should be treated a little bit differently. His age. Like, we're still talking about a guy who's 27 years old. And Freeman, when he signed with the Dodgers, had gone into free agency. I think he was 31, but went into free agency after the Braves did not want to re-sign him and couldn't really find an offer all that substantive. He almost defaulted to the Dodgers. The notion that this guy would have difficulty finding a home was just illogical, but that's where the Mariners are right now.
What do you think about the necessity of this team to bring back Josh Naylor? Does it have to be whatever price he's asking for, match it if some team's willing to pay it? Or how vital do you think he is to this team moving forward?
Yeah, I think he's extremely vital moving forward, but there are, I think, some other candidates to maybe look at. But when you look at, you heard Passan say that, I think that's the unfortunate thing that's unfolded over the past so many years is I guess, poor contracts that first basemen haven't lived up to, if you will. And for me, the first one that comes to mind is Chris Davis with the Orioles, right? I mean, and you chuckle, right? It's like, oh, man, right? The guy signs $150 million and batted under 200, you know what I mean? So it's like, how much are the Mariners willing to kind of gamble on this? As Passan mentioned, his age is a plus. Is there any drop off? Is a full season at T-Mobile different than a partial season coming away through the middle of the season? So the Mariners obviously like everything about what they've gotten from Naylor up until this point, but it's gonna take a few dollars and really a full agreement in everyone in that department to say, yeah, we're going to invest this in Naylor. And you may end up looking at a situation where the team goes in a different direction than the player necessarily wants. And because first base is kind of this volatile market of a position of who's really getting long-term deals, every player wants a long-term deal, without a doubt. Without a doubt, you want to get a long-term deal. You want to try to get to 10 years, max out your pension, all the other benefits that come with it. But if the Mariners are just trying to play it cool or play it maybe more protected in their sense, that I think that they could lock up Naylor to a more unique style of a deal, maybe a higher annual value, shorter term, right? And still get to that number or close to that number that you would want. Because if he's projected at 4 years, 90, 5 years, 110, some sort of nature of that is like, could you get him in doing a 3-year deal, worth $70 million, right? I mean, could you figure out a way to be more creative and give the player what he wants and get that money? But, I wouldn't be surprised if he signs some sort of contract where he's getting a good amount of money up front and then has an option to get out of that contract and go hit the market again. So there's going to be, from his side of things, he's going to try and evaluate what is the best situation to maximize his earnings, because ultimately players only make so much money for so long. So if this is his time to cash in, he's going to fully see this through for, what it's worth. And he's going to, I would imagine, get a really, really nice offer from the Mariners. But, who knows who else is out there that is willing to spend money on a first baseman, also has the need, and saw what he did for the Mariners in the playoffs. So there's a lot to like about what he's done up until this point in his career, but it is a big gamble given the history of how, volatile the first baseman market has been.
What kind of shape do you think the Mariners are in if they don't bring back Suarez or a Polanco? Because there's these three guys out there, and if Naylor requires a bulk of the resources, it might be tough to bring back all three. Who feels like, okay, they can move on from if it comes down to either or when it comes to Gino and Jorge Polanco?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big difference in what I've seen is I think you can let go. I mean, as much as I love Gino Suarez, I think you can let go of him. Mm-hmm. I think given his age, not necessarily what he provides inside that clubhouse, that's amazing. But knowing that you have a premier, if not the best defensive third baseman in the league lurking here, right? I mean, Ben Williamson is there ready to kind of, I think, regain his opportunity. And I think he did a really good job of filling that third base gap as the season kind of unfolded. But, you know, when you compare those three guys between Naylor, Polanco, and Gino, I just think, you know, you are more able to withstand losing Gino than I think you'd be able to withstand losing Naylor, right? I think Naylor seemingly was such a vital piece, not only at first base, not only on the bags running, and then obviously with the bat. It's huge what he did, and obviously, and then you couple that with just his mentality, like his intensity every day and how he carries himself. I think it's a very powerful thing that not every player has that ability to kind of bring that every day, and I think people bring it in different ways. But yeah, I think there's flexibility to kind of maybe, you know, stray away from Gino. But again, he does bring an immense amount of value. But are you looking at that kind of, you know, I look at it, is it like that Adam Dunn-like season where, you know, you're getting a bunch of homers and the low average? It seems like where he's at right now, where he's just going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And I know he's coming up on, I think, 400 homers from a career standpoint. So wouldn't be surprised if he wants to go to maybe a little more hitter-friendly place. Not that T-Mobile is the, you know, historically, I guess, not the best place to hit, but obviously we saw plenty of homers this year. So, and then you bring up Polanco, another guy that I think, you know, it'll be interesting to see where his market goes and where his services, you know, what team want his services. And I think the Mariners would be wise to jump back in on this market. I mean, I think they realized what they got in the first year, what he now provided in the second year, given that he's healthy, the familiarity they have with the player and the player has with the org and all the other players in the clubhouse. There's a lot to like about that, but again, it comes with a cost. And you talk about an aging player and a guy that's, you know, would arguably say it is in the back half of his career. How much money can you afford to put into that, knowing that, you know, you have a limited budget, a limited payroll? You got to pay guys through, you know, arbitration. Are you looking at any other long-term guys with the starting pitching? Like, there's a lot of different things going on within the Mariners of, like, how do we balance this the best way so that they create that sustainable future moving forward and say, all right, we have the pieces that we want, we've locked them up, but we also have, you know, this great draft and great minor league system to continue to, you know, pull guys up and make this team a full team. And I think that's where, you know, you look at where the guys are at in the minor leagues and how close they are to helping this team next year. And then you look at guys that have been there and done that and try to value, do I gamble on getting a guy in free agency or give an opportunity to do a guy in AAA? You know, it comes with a giant cost difference, right? I mean, bringing a guy from the minor leagues making league minimum, obviously bringing a guy from free agency is going to be making a ton of money. But, you know, how do I balance this? And is this the best, you know, what route do I take to give my team the best chance to win? And I know Jerry and Justin and Stan and everyone will be in those conversations to figure out how do we navigate what we just created this year and then create it again next year, because we understand how close we were. And you're looking at a one move away in one way, shape, or form, one guy that's healthy in Brian Wu that changes the entire outlook of what happened this year. So the Mariners are really in a good situation, and it's going to be interesting to see where their dollars are spent. But they know what these guys are worth, and I would be shocked if they didn't take a stab at Naylor and Polanco.
Well, coming up, Mike Macdonald revealed an important piece of information about the Seahawks season moving forward. We'll hear about it when we sweep the dial. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
Get inside the huddle.
The handoff inside. He's going to go. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Taking you inside the VMAC every week. Thursdays, noon to 2.
Our guys show up to play.
Player interviews.
It's obviously been paying off. It's going to continue to do that.
Previewing this week's matchup.
We'll say they come out and just run the ball down the Niners' throats.
And everything Seahawks.
If anybody had a doubt, don't.
The Huddle. Every Thursday at noon. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
After years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy. Well, and my buddy and co-host Bob Stelton, also in pain, and decided to go see Dr. Wagner.
I had a hip issue from 14 years of jiu-jitsu.
How's the pain now?
Everything I did before, I can do just as well. Hitting the heavy bag, sparring, rolling, all of that is back in play. This whole thing has been such a pleasant surprise because I really was of the mindset, I'm going to have to go under the knife. I'm going to have to get surgery. And this really saved me from that. I could not be happier with the results. Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Do it. You will not regret it. Hey, get the facts, hear from all the patients I've talked to, and schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Nobody hooks you up like Popeyes. The Big Box is the reward that keeps on rewarding. Crack it open and you're greeted by 2 pieces of crispy signature chicken. Or if you want, 3 tenders, nestled in there with the 2 sides speaking to you most in this moment. You got that biscuit, and what are you waiting for? Dig right on in. That's feast mode activated. And you're in Big Box business for $6. Love that chicken from Popeyes. At participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Tax extra.
This is the home of the Seahawks. Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN Seattle Sports.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with 0 investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain. And and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the Dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Now, Charlie, normally we don't get your football insights just because we have a lot of baseball questions for you, but I think you can help weigh in on this. So in his press conference this week, Mike Macdonald was asked if it's true that he's nicknamed the Sheriff in the weight room.
There's some truth to that, yeah.
Why is it
How do you? I'm impressed. You know that. I must be a joy to work out with. Apparently, if my nickname's the Sheriff, I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you should be doing it right. So, no, that's good. We have a great group down there. Our strength guys are awesome. It's a great way to kick off the day. It's competitive, just like our speed around the building. Like we want to give each other crap, but we want to get great work in at the same time. So, same is true for when we're working out.
Do you have any weight room nicknames that you had given to guys? High school, college, pro?
That I gave to guys?
Or just on your team?
I would probably earn more of the nicknames.
Were you the one getting the nicknames?
Yeah.
Oh, what were your nicknames? Oh, wait, can you say them on air?
Gumby.
Oh.
You know? Like Newborn Moose was one of them.
Newborn Moose.
But it sounds like McDonald's like he's the form police. You know, he's gonna walk around and be like, "Really? You're gonna take that rep off?
Not 9 degrees on that squat?"
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, that's a good it's a good way to kind of, like you said, keep things competitive, keep guys focused, and keep things fun out there.
Isn't that funny? I can picture that too.
The Sheriff comes in.
I can absolutely picture it.
Oh, he's gonna show up in like total full outfit into the gym here.
That's
next
his
week.
Halloween costume when they're lifting on Friday.
Sweeping the Dial.
Well, we talked about it, but in case you did fall asleep on the couch or maybe just went to bed because it was a game that went to the 18th, here is Freddie Freeman's walk-off homer to win it for the Dodgers.
Little ready, kicks, steals. Swing and a high fly ball, center field. Varsho back, near the wall, at the track, gone! Freddie Freeman! A home run to center field. Freeman walks it off in the 18th. Oh, Freddie delivers.
How cool is that it was Freeman that ended it? Just all-time great guy.
Pretty cool. And then you couple that with how many warning track shots there were. I felt like there was like 4, like, oh, it's going to go. It's
and a
not
lot
gonna
were
go.
from Freeman.
I know.
Like.
He hit 2 of them there, yeah. But he's a legend, and it's hard not to like Freddie Freeman and how he plays the game. So kudos to Freddie for getting it done.
Sweeping the Dial.
Well, going off of that, and something that we talked about, some people appreciated our ideas about the intentional walk, some did not. But Dave Roberts, he was asked about it last night after the game, and he was asked if they were frustrated that the Blue Jays continued to walk Ohtani.
No, I get it. He's the best player on the planet, and he was on the heels of a huge offensive night, and John smelled that and wasn't going to let Shohei beat him at all. Obviously, and even when nobody's on base, and putting him on to make the other guys beat him, and respect it. And fortunately, we have other guys behind Shohei that can still do some things. And yeah, a hard-fought game.
Duh.
Yeah.
That's why you walk him. Come on, right? The guy's way too good. You said it. The best baseball player on the planet right now? Ain't no way this guy's beating us.
They should have asked him, were you surprised that Sir Anthony Dominguez decided to groove a pitch right down the middle
that would
to
have
the
been
best hitter on the planet?
What do you think he was thinking when the ball left his hand?
I don't know. Well, okay, pitcher over here. What might have he been thinking? Like, I'm going to sneak one by him?
Yeah, the times that I've thrown balls like right down the middle like that, it almost happens before the ball leaves my hand. So like I'm mid motion going, oh no, don't swing. Oh, goal ball, go. Oh. Every time it's happened for me, I've given up, those 450-foot homers. So, sometimes as a pitcher, you know it's going to happen right before it happens.
Like the second.
Oh, yeah.
Comes out of
this is a neck turner. Okay, yep, there it goes. So, life of a pitcher, though. Give up some, and sometimes you get away with it.
Yeah, well, hey, speaking of that, Game 4 coming up in a matter of moments. We'll turn it over to you. Shohei Ohtani, pitching and hitting. Last time he did this, I wasn't really paying attention because Mariners had just won in Game 5 to beat the Blue Jays. But he pitched, 6 or 7 innings, struck out 10, and hit 3 home runs. What do you expect for the encore?
I mean, this guy's incredible. Wouldn't be surprised to see another double-digit K, but I'm only going to go 1 homer tonight.
Only 1 homer.
Only 1 homer tonight.
Would you pitch to him at all? I mean, to start the game, if you're the Blue Jays, why even pitch to him at this point?
I mean, my slider was pretty good, so I'd like to go toe-to-toe, see if he could do it. But, I'd tip my cap if he took me deep for sure.
All right. So we'll see. That is coming up in a matter of minutes here. Charlie, thanks for filling in. It was a nice call to the pen. You performed admirably. I'd give you the win, just like Will Klein. Comes in, has a historic performance, gets the win in 18 innings.
I don't want the win. I just want the team to win.
Thank you.
So, as long as we all win, then we're doing something right, Left.
Big team win today on Wyman and Bob. Our thanks to Charlie Furbush for coming in. And everyone, the whole cavalry came in as well. Curtis Rogers helped start us off. Anthony Bradford joined us as well. Ryan Divish popped in. So big thanks to everyone that was involved in this. Matt Nelson, I'm even going to thank Matt. He loves when you thank him. So thanks to Matt as well. Game 4 of the World Series coming up next here on Seattle Sports.
Hawks Live. Touchdown! Presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Live from Bellevue Square's center court. Come on by and join hosts Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer and a different Seahawks player every week.
This should be fun.
Hawks Live. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Tim Hunter, former Seattle radio goofball here with 2 words that aren't funny. Prostate cancer. Get your annual checkup. Keep an eye on that PSA number. And if you hear those 2 words like I did, talk to the folks at Swedish Cyberknife. 5 treatments, minimally invasive, and technologically advanced over the other options. If you were a friend, and I consider you one, I'd highly recommend Swedish Cyberknife. We are so lucky to have them right here in town. Do your research, but definitely visit swedish.org/cyberknife prostate.
Dave Wyman here, and we've been fortunate to hear from 2 Swedish Cyberknife patients this year, Andy Ryder and Tim Hunter. Both heard about Cyberknife from our radio ads and completed successful treatment, raving about their experiences. Tim was impressed that treatment only took 5 days. Andy hosted a large international delegation the week after his treatment. If you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment with Swedish Cyberknife here in Seattle. Go to swedish.org/cyberknife prostate.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase. I just paid hundreds for this flight and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Navy vet Phil Briggs, here for Navy Federal Credit Union. I always love Veterans Day because it's when I see my buddies posting up pictures of us when we were younger and built for speed. Navy Federal Credit Union also celebrates veterans of all branches and their families every day of the year. As a veteran, you can become a member and access exclusive rates, discounts, and financial tools for the whole family. So become a member today at NavyFederal.org/veterans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
From tax deduction, we provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely.